tradition almost 234 years ago. They returned to play in the town that was the landmark of declaring independence. Tonight, they return to Philadelphia, where the rebirth of their offense begins. Tonight, they return to the Diamond, where their lineup takes their first steps toward independence from their scoring struggles. They will need a leader to follow on their resurgence that starts tonight, and they have found the perfect individual. Where do we begin tonight in Philadelphia? Well, we begin outside in the parking lot, where more than 60,000 fans will be both at Citizens Bank Park and at the Wachovia Center as Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals will get underway. Well, about an hour after this one gets underway. It's Game 1 of a 4-game series between the Phillies and the Padres. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Gary Matthews will be along in just a little bit. Well, where do we begin tonight? There's so many storylines, Wheels. First, Roy Halladay makes another start. Then the Phillies' offense has been struggling. And then the Padres are in town, and they have been a really good team this year.
Really good team. Best team in the National League, Tom. And, you know, I used to think when the Padres came to town, maybe you could get well against them. But you talk about a team that don't have a lot of slump busters in their pitching. How about these numbers? First in the league in wins for their team. Look at the earned run average. And the bullpen is just out of sight. The starters are very good, and they've also pitched 9 shutouts. So they're a team that you don't expect to get well offensively against necessarily. Now, they don't hit a whole lot, but they don't have to with that pitching. Plus, they play in that Grand Canyon of a ballpark out there, Petco Park in San Diego. Sometimes you hope these teams will come east. They play in a big ballpark like that, and they'll take a look around here, and they'll try to hit home runs for a few days and get out of what they do best. We'll see what happens.
Well, the Padres do have the best record of the National League, but this is their first of 4 trips east before the All-Star break. We'll see if that has any effect on their win-loss record. Now the other storyline tonight. Roy Halladay. What else can you say? But he was perfect last time out.
Yeah, he sure was perfect last time out. And that was so much fun to watch. His first time back since that perfect game last Saturday. And here he goes in the 7th inning, and obviously he's at the top of the lineup. He gets a strikeout. He got that out on a 3-2 breaking ball. Here he comes again with another strikeout, that one on Hanley Ramirez called. Now we go to the 8th inning. It's really starting to get itchy. A blast right there. Castro makes a great play on that ball hit by Cantu. That was probably the defensive play of the game. Uggla takes a strike 3 call, and then Cody Ross hits a high pop-up to short. Valdez puts it away, and now we start thinking about the 9th inning, the bottom of the order. Here come the pinch hitters. Mike Lamb scared everybody with this ball right to the warning track for an out. Former Phil Westhelm, he takes a strike 3 call. Another former Philly, Ronnie Paulino, hits this ball towards the hole, but it was hit weakly. Castro got it, spun through to first, and the party began. Roy Halladay, the first time you saw him crack a smile the whole night, and he couldn't stop smiling after that. The perfect game. Look at that. First pitch strikes, 14 out of 27. He had a lot of called strike. Mike DeMuro had a good plate for pitchers that night. He had some 3-ball counts, but obviously he didn't let anybody get on base. 2 hours and 13 minutes of perfection, and it never gets old watching that stuff.
Well, Johnny Vandermeer is the only pitcher in Major League Baseball history to throw back-to-back no-hitters. We'll see if Roy Halladay can duplicate what Johnny Vandermeer did back in 1938. It's Matt Latos, a very talented pitcher for the Padres, against Roy Halladay. When he returns, the first pitch and the starting lineups. Padres, Roy Halladay's return to Philadelphia after his perfect game. Boy, he was cheered for the last half hour. It didn't matter if he was walking out to the bullpen, walking in from the bullpen, being introduced by Dan Baker here at the ballpark. It was pretty impressive, and I don't think he broke his expression the entire time. He went from the dugout to the bullpen. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Padres, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in right field, Will Venable. David Eckstein, the second baseman, bats second. Adrian Gonzalez hits third, followed by Chase Headley, the third baseman. Scott Hairston's in left, batting fifth. Nick Hundley, the catcher, bats sixth. Jerry Hairston Jr. is at shortstop, batting seventh. Tony Gwynn Jr. is at center field, batting eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Matt Latos. And they will face right-hander Roy Halladay. And not too much more you can say, Wheels, except for the fact that he was perfect in his last outing.
Yeah, there you see the numbers on it, Tom. And it's unusual because a guy pitched a perfect game. You come back to town, first night in town, you're going to honor him. You're going to do something for him. Well, they can't tonight. The only way they can honor him is maybe score a few runs and help him win a ball game here. But, you know, the fans, as you said, did what they could. There's Southwest Airlines scouting report for, you know, to honor a guy who had a perfect game who's not going to react to them at this point. You know, that tomorrow will be a different story when they finally can, or whenever they decide to, whenever they're going to honor him in front of the crowd. But tonight he's all business. It's like that never happened to Roy Halladay.
So he'll go to work against the San Diego Padres with the best record in the National League, a record of 32-21. In fact, it's the first time in franchise history that they've had the best record in the National League on June 1st. Pretty impressive. Will Venable leads things off. Venable, in his first full season in the big leagues, hitting .227 with 4 homers and 19 RBIs. And quickly, Halladay works ahead. No balls and 1 strike.
This lineup is loaded with guys that their fathers played in the major leagues. Grandfathers. You know, it's really neat as you go along. And Venable, of course, is one of them. Max Venable, his dad. You have the Hairstons. You have Tony Gwynn Jr.
Will Venable's dad, Max, hit .241 for his career that spanned from 1979 and 1991. Ryan Howard takes care of him. And one away here in the first. Now the second-generation major leaguers. Ryan Webb, whose dad, Hank Webb, was a pitcher for the New York Mets, is in the bullpen.
Hank Webb's a guy we know from Clearwater. Hank Webb is a wonderful guy who's been involved with the Clearwater for youth with Brian Unst down there and John Timberlake, who's in charge of it. So we've known Hank for a lot of years, and it's kind of neat that his son Ryan is here in the major leagues.
Well, here's David Eckstein. If you want a family connection, David Eckstein's brother is the hitting coach for the Washington Nationals.
There's just up and down this lineup, as we were saying, there are baseball connections. More so, I don't ever remember seeing anything like this in one lineup.
0-1 the count to Eckstein, hitting .287 with a home run at 15 runs batted in. Oddly, he has very good numbers against Roy Halladay. We saw that when we announced the lineup. He was 11 for 27 against Halladay before the start of this ball game.
Theory for that would be that he has a short swing and he puts the ball in play. And Halladay is going to eat guys alive with big swings for the most part because of the way his stuff moves. But Eckstein is a pest. He chokes up on the bat. He stands right on top of the plate. He doesn't care if you hit him. And he puts the ball in play. And you play him real shallow and right because he dunks a lot of balls in front of the right fielder.
0-2 the count to Eckstein. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
If you look at Jason Worth right now, it's like looking at a pitcher's hitting. As shallow as he is in right field, and that's the proper way to play him. Look how shallow he is, because you think he's not going to hit the ball over my head. I'm going to take the hit in front of me away from David Eckstein.
And a little number foul, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Halladay's come out throwing a lot of sinkers early in this game. He just threw a sinker right there that sunk right off the foot of David Eckstein after he hit it.
So Eckstein will walk it off. David Eckstein has spent a good portion of his career as a leadoff hitter. Now has slid down to the number 2 spot.
Here's that running sinker. Yow.
And he pops it up foul over the Phillies dugout. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
See if Halladay tries something different with him, because he just keeps fouling off these sinkers.
Well, this is the 10th pitch of the inning for Halladay, and it's a swing and a miss. David Epstein doesn't strike out that often. Well, he strikes out there, 2 outs.
Boy, he has a really nasty sinking fastball here in this first inning, and he's staying with it too. You know he'll go to his other stuff, but watch the movement and the way this thing runs and sinks. Oh, that's a bowling ball coming up there, and Epstein missed that by a foot.
See the location of that pitch. So Halladay has the first 2 outs here in the top of the first. Adrian Gonzalez, the batter. Gonzalez has played every game for the Padres. I'm sure he broke a few bats, and he just broke one there.
This is one of those great players that, you know, that a lot of fans don't know much about because he plays in a little bit of obscurity out there in San Diego. You know, they keep playing the way they are. You're going to hear more about him. But Gonzalez, as he breaks his bat on that cutter coming in on his thumbs, there goes the barrel behind him, right past Jim Wolf. He can do everything. He can hit the ball of the ballpark in any spot, and he's a tremendous first baseman.
Well, you see the numbers he's compiled against the Phillies so far in his career.
Oh, he likes to hit here.
Well, for his career, Adrian Gonzalez has hit 147 home runs. He is constantly rumored to be on the move some way. You see what he's done here at this ballpark.
If he didn't play in San Diego, you could easily throw another 50 on that total for career home runs and the number of years he's played at Petco.
Halladay's fallen behind, 2 balls and 1 strike. And a breaking ball swung on and missed. That was the pitch that was so effective for Halladay in his last outing against the Marlins.
Yeah, it's a curveball, and he used it twice on 3-2 and got outs, which was one of those "are you kidding me" moments.
You might see him do it again here against Adrian Gonzalez. And a swing and a foul tip right in and out of the glove of Ruiz. And that was the changeup from Halladay. And it remains even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, these guys have never seen Halladay. You know, maybe some of them have, not many, but watching on TV, but he hasn't competed against him in a game. And that changeup is something that is very different from Roy Halladay for all hitters this year.
Gonzalez lifetime 1 for 4 against Halladay. And it's a full count, 3-2. He didn't look like he was pleased by the location of that pitch. Chase Headley waits on deck.
We'll see what Roy Halladay does here if he gives in. Headley's been hot and a good hitter. Guy on deck. See if he gives in with a fastball here.
Fouls it off. And he did fire the fastball. Well, the umpires for tonight's ball game. There's Jim Wolf. Brother Randy plays for the Brewers. Darryl Cousins, the crew chief's over at first. Marvin Hudson's at second. And there's Jim Joyce, who's become such a story in baseball for the last few days. He's umpiring over at third. Jim Joyce met with the media before the start of the ball game today. And a 3-2 line towards center, a base hit. And Adrian Gonzalez has done something that the Florida Marlins were unable to do for 9 innings in Roy Halladay's last start, and that's get a base hit.
And he tried the 3-2 curveball, too. And Adrian Gonzalez just a good hitter. Johnny Vandermeer safe again.
Johnny Vandermeer, who back in 1938 threw back-to-back no-hitters. Neither one was all that pretty because there were base runners, but he still did not allow a base hit in either one of the games against the Boston Braves and the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Talking about the records that in baseball they say will never be broken. That one sits right there near the DiMaggio streak.
Here's Chase Headley, a 285 hitter. And Headley, who they put into the cleanup spot to protect Adrian Gonzalez. As the count even 1-1 is Johnny Vandermeer, hard-throwing left-handed pitcher. They say was wild for a good portion of his career. He wound up winning 119 games, losing 121. As Headley pops it up. Straightaway center field. Should be an easy play for Victorino. He'll settle under it. Makes the catch. And Roy Halladay strands a base runner here in the first. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the first. It's a scoreless game. let's take a look at their starting lineup. Brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at center field, Shane Victorino. Placido Polanco is back. He's over at third base, followed by Chase Utley, the second baseman. Ryan Howard, the first baseman, bats cleanup. Jason Worth is in right field hitting fifth. Raul Ibanez bats sixth. In the bottom third of Juan Castro, Carlos Ruiz, and Roy Halladay facing right-hander Matt Latos. What a story this kid has been. 10 games, 5-3, with a 3.08 earned run average.
Just one of the many pitchers that the Padres can run out there that can give you problems. He has tremendous stats, especially for the month of May, where he really turned it on.
Shane Victorino leads things off, and he shows bunt and takes a pitch high. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. He has a really good fastball, has a lot of confidence evidently in his breaking ball, and he'll also throw a good curveball. No home runs in his last 5 starts, 36 innings.
Guy who pitched 10 games last year for the Padres, went 4-5 with a 4.62 earned run average.
Yeah, and he had a close to a perfect game this year. Gave up a hit in the 6th inning in a game in San Francisco, and that's it. 28 batters in that game.
And it was an infield hit, too. Victorino rolls it over to Eckstein at second. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first. Latos, just 22 years old, a former 11th round pick by the San Diego Padres. He was found by the Padres' former manager's brother, Joe Bochy. Noticed him as a junior in high school, and he was a draft and follow pickup by the Padres, which means they drafted him in 2006 and then followed him through the junior college circuit. Before the draft in 2007, they were able to sign him. Can't do that anymore. Here's Placido Polanco. And Polanco, who missed 6 games because of the re-aggravation of that left elbow. You see the pad on that left elbow. And he is happy to be back in the lineup tonight. Charlie Manuel was talking about Polanco, and he was asked today before the ball game how he was doing. He said, well, he's in the lineup, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what he was talking about before the game. He said, they tell me he can play. He said, that's all I need. He can play. I want him to play. They tell me he can't play. He sits.
Paulie did say that he was about 85%. When Charlie was told that, Charlie said, well, he didn't tell me that. He just told me he was ready to go.
Yeah.
He's like McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant, Wheels, is Carl Bueller, Northampton, PA. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Carl will win $200.
Now, he's tired of hearing about people that can't play. He just wants to tell me that somebody can play, and I'll play him.
Well, the Phillies offense certainly could use Polanco. Who's down on the count 1-2. And he stays alive.
That's a pretty good located fastball there for a young kid, 22 years old. 96 on the outside part of the plate where he had to protect. He's got kind of a violent delivery, but you know, they said he was real immature at one point, and talking to Padres people now, they say he's really picked it up a little bit, though, as far as his mound presence, and has an idea.
Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He sped through the organization pretty quickly. In fact, 07 was his first professional year. He had a minor league earned run average combined of 2.49 before he made the Padres out of spring training this year. Little number back in front of the mound. Latos has it, throws out Polanco for the second out. So 2 away here in the bottom of the first. And that'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Chase, Ryan Howard, and Jason Worth combined to pick up 13 hits during the last road trip for the Phillies. Chase was 4 for 35. He hit just 114, but boy, he has good numbers against the Padres. In fact, look at that. Overall, a 343 hitter with 10 home runs. He's hoping that they are the perfect tonic to get him out of his slump that he's been in. That's what he's done in his last 10 ball games against San Diego.
Latos has shown 4 pitches. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
Over towards shortstop on one hop. Jerry Hairston is able to handle it, and he just throws out Chase to finish off the bottom of the first inning. Nothing across for the Phillies. We move on to the second. It's a scoreless game in Philadelphia. Gonzalez, so no perfection for Roy in this ball game. The 5th Cy Young Award winner to throw a perfect game, the 2nd perfect game this season. Obviously, we almost had a 3rd one the other night. Dallas Braden on May 9th pitched one for the Oakland A's. He hasn't won since then. And last time there were 2 perfect games in the season. You see that all the way back in the 1800s.
We almost had 3. He did have 3. Mentioned Jim Joyce and took that shot of him. That situation was so awful, and yet it handled so well. It's amazing. And a lot of credit has to go to the Tigers and to Galarraga.
And to the Tiger fans,
everybody.
To Jim Leyland after they let some steam off. And Jim Joyce, in the aftermath of everything that happened, handled everything unbelievably.
Well, he set the tone for it, that's for sure.
And Hairston's got a leadoff single here in the 2nd inning. Now let's take a look at what happened again on Wednesday night in case you missed it. And it was a very emotional night. Ecstasy for Galarraga. Just up from the minor leagues. Got over to the bag, had the ball and the bag. Some people speculated that this little bobble right there may have been one of the reasons why Jim Joyce called Jason Donald safe at first base. Jim said, I kicked it. I blew the call.
Yeah, I cost that kid a no-hitter. A perfect game, he said. And he had such a, he was so penitent about the whole thing and so upset. It got to the point where how can you be angry with the man? And, it was a, he missed it. He missed it as a human thing. This is a human game. We all make mistakes in life, and his is just a little more visible than others.
Well, if anybody had a chance to see the day game yesterday, in which Galarraga brought the lineup card out to home plate, and Jim Joyce was the home plate umpire. He was given the opportunity to take yesterday off and decided to put the gear on, work the plate. He said it was the best 3 hours he's had in a long time. And Galarraga brought the lineup card out, presented it to Jim Joyce. There were tears, I think, all throughout the ballpark yesterday in Detroit at Comerica. There were certainly tears in Jim Joyce's eyes, and he patted Galarraga on the shoulder. The fans from Detroit were pretty impressive as well. Jim Leyland almost cried after the game. As the count is no balls at 2 strikes to Nick Hundley.
As we say, something that was so negative turned out to be so positive, and life doesn't work that way that often, so it's time to move on for everybody.
Danny O'Rourke, one of our friends who helps in the Phillies clubhouse, does such a great job. He handles the umpires room, and he said that Jim Joyce is one of the best guys you will ever come across.
That's what everybody says about him.
1-2 the count to Nick Hundley.
Not that it would have been easier if he were a jerk.
That's very true.
It makes it a lot tougher. And, you know, and just suppose it had been an umpire who said, well, I didn't blow that. I didn't make him. Well, then, you know, then the whole thing is a different story. But because of his reaction, that put it all in perspective.
1-2 the count to Nick Hundley with a runner at first base. And that pitch just missed off the inside corner. 2-2.
It's another good-looking young player, catcher, catching a lot of games from UV Torrealba, just back on the active list. He was inactive for a while. Personal thing, he was gone, and he's caught quite a few games. But since Hundley's had a chance to play, in no relation to the other catching Hundleys, which you always think, well, he's should be related to Randy Hundley or Todd Hundley. No, he isn't. He's a good player.
Well, he and Yurvi Torrealba have basically split the games behind the plate for most of this year. Although he has caught many of Latos's games, Hundley has. So they anticipated he would be out there tonight. And a breaking ball inside, 3-2. Charlie letting Jim Wolf here.
Well, see that one to their eyes from the dugout. It isn't high and it isn't low. And Jim Wolf said it was inside. See if they run here. These guys, you know, play a different kind of game at home because of that big ballpark.
He does go. The pitch is hit toward the hole at shortstop and into left field. Hairston's going to continue on the third, and the Padres have runners on first and third here in the top of the second.
Well, there you go. You know, they do strike out, but they must make enough contact that they want to do some of that stuff because of where they have to play, where they can't rely on home runs. Now watch, see who's covering. Right there, even though it's a right-handed batter, Castro's breaking. And I don't know. I mean, it looked like Castro broke really early there and left a hole wide open, and a double play ball turns into a first and third because of the runner going, and you vacate your position.
Padres have stolen 55 bases this year, and that was what Hairston was trying to do, put a little pressure on the Phillies. And now his brother Jerry will bat with runners on first and third.
Yeah, and they're running on the count there to stay out of a double play. And you know, the runner at first base, he just stands there basically. He doesn't even move until the pitch is thrown. And in that case, I mean, I couldn't tell who was covered. It almost looked like Castro was covering with a right-handed batter.
It did. Yeah, it definitely did.
Because he left so early. Maybe we look at it again and see if he came forward a little bit before he moved to his left, but that hole was open fast.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Jerry Hairston is the older brother of the two Hairstons. His brother Scott is over at third base. There's Scott Hairston. Jerry is 33 years old. In fact, he just turned 34. A 1-2 the count to him. And he stays alive.
They're making Halladay work. Now see, normally if you're covering, the idea is you're supposed to come forward a little bit and then break. And it kind of looked like he went right to the bag then. Yeah, but we don't know who was covering. But they both seemed to move, but it seemed like Castro broke first, like he was covering, even though it was a right-handed batter. And they see what Chase Utley's doing right there.
Fly ball to short right. Jason Worth comes under it. Scott Hairston tags from third. Here's the throw by Worth, and Hairston holds up at third. Ball was like a super ball as it came down the first base line.
It really bounced. Jason, you know we're going to try and score on that play. Glenn Hoffman's a third base coach. Trevor Hoffman's older brother, and there's nobody out. And Jason Worth is behind the ball. And Jason, of course, has a tremendous arm, and he's very accurate. And as Tom said, like a Super Bowl, that thing really bounced. You see Halladay where he's supposed to be backing up the play. So good job by Jason to make sure that they don't even think about running there because of the way he got behind that.
Now Roy can see his way maybe through this inning because he has the number 8 batter in Tony Gwynn. And then the pitcher's spot due up. Gwynn has good speed. And the first pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. I say that because he's batting from the left side with good speed. And he's tough to double up.
Well, it's really hot here tonight, as everybody in Philadelphia knows, and Padres are making Halladay work hard. Throw a lot of pitches early in this game.
Tried to hold up, but he went around. It's 0-2. Tony Gwynn Jr., whose dad played his entire Hall of Fame career in San Diego with the Padres. It was a homecoming for Jr. when he was acquired by the Padres last year from the Milwaukee Brewers.
He almost looked like he crossed up. He didn't cross him up because there's nobody at second base, but that ball moved and it caught right off the heel of the glove of Carlos Ruiz, and that's close to a wild pitch. Because when they hit leather like that, a lot of times they'll pop in a crazy direction. But that really fooled him. I'm going to throw curveball.
And a line drive, base hit it to right field. Gwynn just serves it into right. It's an RBI single as Hairston crosses the plate, and the Padres take a 1-0 lead. See, a lot of times that Roy Halladay throws that curve. It's the pitch he wants to use to get out of the jam. And Gwynn did a nice job staying on top of that curve.
He's only hitting 197. Throws him this breaking ball right here. Drop the head on it.
So now Latos, who will most likely be up there to try to sacrifice the runners up into scoring position. Both runners in scoring position. Hundley is off second. And the ball is missed. The throw to second is not in time as Hundley gets back in diving.
Latos has 3 sacks so far this year.
Corners creep in. The ball is bunted in front of the plate. Ruiz goes to third for one. Polanco's throw to first, not in time. They do, however, get the lead runner. Carlos was destined to go to third right out of the chute on that one.
Yeah, they probably had Halladay had that third base responsibility there, and he knew Polanco was going to retreat. And the ball is bunted right out in front of the plate, so Carlos has the play right in front of him. Polanco retreated immediately, so he's under control. And to Latos' credit, he really busted down the line. A lot of times you can get a 2-3-5 or 2-5-3 double play on that with a pitcher who doesn't hustle.
Oh, with 2 away, here's Will Venable, and Venable takes a pitch inside. He grounded out weakly to Ryan Howard his first time up. Here's Latos, who made sure that the double play was not recorded.
Yeah, and he gives the top of his offense a chance to get after him.
Toward left center field on the run is Victorino, and he gets there. So the Padres score a run. They collect 3 hits in the inning. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the second. It's San Diego 1, Phillies 0. Marlins. And speaking of the Marlins, on the Toyota Major League scoreboard, they lead the Mets 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Cameron Maybin has maybe found the offensive light. He has 19 RBIs this season, and 7 of those RBIs have come against New York. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Padres. And it'll be Ryan Howard, Jason Worth, and Raul Ibanez to start it off against right-hander Matt Latos, with the Padres leading at 1-0. Now, the Phillies' offense has certainly been a big storyline, and their struggles have been well documented. They begin play tonight 3 games behind the Braves in the standings. They've been outscored in the last 15 games, 61-26. That's next note is the staggering one. Held to 1 run or fewer 9 times.
Yeah, it's been ugly.
And they're hoping that their recent success against the Padres will kind of loosen things up. Part of that success includes Ryan Howard, who in his career is at .378 against San Diego.
And like most teams, they play a 3-man overshift on Ryan Howard. Once in a while with a left-hander pitching and nobody on base, they'll put somebody on the other side a second. But you see what they're doing right there. There are 3 guys over there and deep.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Ryan was 6 for 34 on the road trip. He said the Phillies came home from Atlanta 2.5 games back. The Braves won again last night. They've won 9 straight as they beat the Dodgers. And a swing and a miss, 3 pitches, and Ryan Howard is rung up for out number 1.
That's really good changeup. You know, they talked on the scouting reports about his changeup as 4th best pitch, and you know, not something you expect a whole lot of from him. But you see him palm that thing a little bit, and zoom, good one. Had a lot of dead fish movement to it.
Well, with 1 out, first strikeout for Latos. Jason Worth is the hitter. Jason was out taking early batting practice again today, trying to get things straightened out. 2 for his last 23. He led off in the final game of the road trip against the Braves. Hit the ball hard a couple different times. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Somebody needs to be a little patient here and try and make this guy work a little bit harder on this hot night. He's only thrown 16 pitches so far, and Jason Worth's the perfect guy to make a pitcher work.
Latos during the month of May had an ERA of 1.54, which was the 4th best in the National League. And he throws that breaking ball for strike on the outside corner. It's 2-2. It was a pitcher's month. There's no doubt about it. With the 2 perfect games that were thrown, and also a whole host of ERAs that were under 1.5, and no doubt under 2 for the month.
There you go. Jason Worth runs a full count. You know, he does so much of this, and even though he hasn't been struggling, he's one of the guys that will make a guy work in this order.
Outside, ball 4. The Phillies have their first base runner. Hey, Sunday, it's the crown jewel of North American cycling. Catch the world's best cyclists flying through the city of Philadelphia, and then they crawl up the Manioc Wall. Don't miss the 26th annual TD Bank Philadelphia International Cycling Championships, live Sunday starting at noon right here on Comcast Sportsnet. What a weekend in Philadelphia for sports. Not only this game going on here, but also the road to the Stanley Cup Championship going on over at the Wachovia Center. Game 4 between the Flyers and the Chicago Blackhawks. Here's Raul Ibanez. Raul was hitting 10 straight against the Padres. How about the run he had last year against San Diego?
Well, he had a walk-off home run against him in a game here.
A game in which he hit 2 home runs against San Diego. And he takes one at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Raul on the road trip had 6 hits in 26 at-bats. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Today, J.C. Romero is celebrating a birthday. On the road trip, Raul Ibanez celebrated his birthday. And Latos tries to keep Jason Worth close at first.
Richard Ashburn paid us a visit tonight along with his son Taylor, and Taylor's girlfriend Amanda McGettigan. It's her birthday, so happy birthday there. Always good to see the Ashburns around.
Inside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. Well, last year, this is what we're talking about, Raul Ibanez.
Phillies were really struggling against the Padres that weekend, too. And he hit that ball out of the ballpark. Then there was a rain out, of course, in that series. And they wound up, the Padres had to make a 1-game visit back to Philadelphia, where the Phillies are going to have to Colorado.
Try to check his swing. Did he go? Jim Joyce says he did. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Latos.
He's really using his changeup well. It's another out on a changeup. There you see Ibanez swinging fastball all the way and can't hold up on the changeup.
Well, 2 away here in the bottom of the second. Here's Juan Castro. Castro, his 20th game in place of Jimmy Rollins. Juan and Wilson Valdez continue to split time in Jimmy's absence. Although Juan has not played as many games at shortstop recently because of the injury to Placido Polanco. But with Polanco back in the lineup, Juan's back over at shortstop for tonight's game. And the pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, it gives Charlie Manuel, his coaches, a full bench tonight, too. Because Polanco was on the lineup card all that time that he couldn't play. Obviously, that's a guy he couldn't use, and there's a guy that they could really use. 2 weeks ago tonight is when he hurt that leg again.
Yeah, Jimmy's eligible to come off the disabled list on Sunday, but he will not come off on Sunday. But earlier today, Jimmy began taking batting practice again, did some baseball activities, took some ground balls, ran in the outfield. And that's a good sign. He was not on the road trip with the Phillies. He was working out down in Clearwater. Jimmy presented a check to the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation before the ball game for nearly $175,000 for his 5th annual baseball tournament, which took place last night in the city at Lucky Strike Lanes. It was a great event. As Castro skies one, shallow right field. Venable on the run, coming over, dives. He can't get there. It's foul ball, and it's 1-2.
Great effort by Will Venable, who is a tremendous athlete. Played a lot of different sports at a high level. Here he comes into foul territory and almost makes a spectacular catch. He also knew he didn't have to worry about the stands. He also knew he could belly flop on some grass. So enjoy the moment. If you're closer to the stands and that gravel or that warning track's coming up, not a good idea to belly flop.
1-2 the count to Castro, the number 7 batter for the Phillies. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Will need a drink when he gets in that dugout. He's spitting cotton out there.
Well, we mentioned before that the Padres are making just their second trip east. A lot of their first 2 months of the season have been spent in California, going up and down the circuit. They have played in Florida 1 time. Outside and high, 3-2. And this is going to be a big test for them, Wills, because they have this series here against the Phillies. They'll play in New York next week, but they'll still come back to the East Coast 3 more times before the All-Star break.
Well, I'm sure they are looking at this, Tom, as a test. You know, they have the best one-loss record in the league, and they're coming into Philadelphia for a 4-game series. And I'm sure Bud Black's looking at his team like, well, let's see how we react.
3-2 the count. Worth will be off. He's not being held on. There he goes. And the pitch is pulled toward third. Taken on a hop by Headley. And Castro is thrown out. And the Phils threat goes by the boards. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We've completed 2. It's the Padres 1, the Phillies nothing. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. I bet you he wore the brown uniform, Wheels.
Oh, yeah. Good chance. Or the yellow, or whatever you want to call it.
Brown and yellow.
Yeah.
We go to the top of the 3rd. David Eckstein leads it off for the Padres. Eckstein, first time up, struck out. And the first pitch is a little low. 1 ball and no strikes. David Eckstein, who began his professional career with the Boston Red Sox as a second baseman. Red Sox let him go when he was in the minor leagues, and he was signed by the then Anaheim Angels, and he was put at shortstop. A lot of middle infielders make the switch from second to short or short to second. The oddity of it is that David Eckstein has never had a really good throwing arm, but was a pretty good shortstop for the Angels and a couple other teams. And he lines that one down the left field line, and this is what he's been able to do for most of his career. He's usually the littlest guy on the field, and he's got a leadoff double here in the 3rd.
And he doesn't pull the ball all that often either, but he got himself ahead in the count. It looked like he looked location there and got it. How they got him out the first time up by sinking the ball on him, and he looked like he was throwing sinkers to him in this at bat. See, he tried to run that one back in the same way he did the first time, only that one was up and on the plate, and David Eckstein nailed it into the corner.
So he's in scoring position. Adrian Gonzalez, the hitter. Gonzalez singled his first time up, and he fouls the first pitch back into the Hall of Fame club.
Gonzalez can do what he wants to do with the bat. The more you watch him, right now he looks like he's in a pull mode right now because he wants to make something happen and get the runner over even if it makes it out. But this guy can pull, or other times he can just smoke a ball the other way to left and left center.
And he does pull it over toward Chase Utley. Eckstein will move over to 3rd, and the putout goes 4-3. 1 away here in the 3rd inning.
We've seen 2 instances right now in the last 2 innings of winning baseball, and you get an idea of why they're doing what they're doing.
Hey, voting is now open for the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. Help send your favorite Phillies to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Phillies.com. Visit Phillies.com and cast your ballot now for your 2010 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often. Vote today at Phillies.com. Phillies play the infield back with Chase Headley at the plate. And a swing and a miss at the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
And Polanco is the only fielder up a little bit. Now he's backing up, and I think, well, I don't know why. You wouldn't think this guy would bunt out of that position, but now he's backed up a couple steps.
A swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Two good pitches.
The cutters, both of them, and you can see the really late movement on them. In on Chase Headley. Let's see where Roy goes now, because he's really established in on this guy. Yeah, that's a good idea. I say they go away after establishing in, and they were trying to get a cutter or a slider in the outside corner there and freeze him.
And a swing and a miss, and it's a big strikeout for Halladay. Second strikeout of the night. 2 outs here in the third.
3 pitches in the same spot with the same result. He swung over him. So they certainly found something there on Headley. Here comes again. Looks more like a slider than a cutter because it had some tilt to it. A lot of tilt to that pitch as opposed to just going almost sideways the way a cutter would go.
Well, now Scott Hairston is the batter. Hairston singled and scored the game's only run. See Hairston's numbers: 6 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Padres as a team have not hit a whole lot of home runs. In fact, they have 37. Phillies have 51 home runs as a team.
They're like the Mets. I mean, if you try to play that game in their respective ballparks, their home ballparks, and hit home runs, you're not going to win. You just can't, because you're not going to hit home runs. So, you would think the Padres are trying to play a lot of little ball, and we've seen that so far tonight. Here's Bud Black, their manager.
Down and away, 3-0. Well, Jed Hoyer, who's their new general manager, has been asked over and over again about whether he would change the dimensions at Petco Park, and he said, no, let's let it play out a little bit. Let's see if we can build a team that can play to the dimensions of the ballpark. On the outside corner, 3-1 to Hairston.
St. Louis did that in the 80s with that big Busch Stadium and the AstroTurf, and they had all those guys that could fly, and they would beat you with their speed. Stolen bases. Jack Clark would hit some home runs, but for the most part they just ran.
Outside, ball 4, and Hairston works a 2-out walk. Now the Padres have been good at home this year with 18 wins, but they've also been good on the road with 14 wins in 23 games, averaging the same number of runs per game and the same number of home runs per game. And their ERA at home, you would imagine, would be better, and it is. But they're still able to pick up victories on the road. Here's Nick Hundley with runners on first and third. And a pop-up. Left field line. Polanco and Castro are there. It's Polanco who makes the call, and he makes the catch in foul territory. For the Padres here in the third. No runs, 1 hit. Roy Halladay strands a couple. We go to the bottom of the third. Phillies trail it by 1. Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And by Xfinity, it's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Well, last of the third, Phillies trail at 1-0. We've seemed to have said that a lot over the last couple weeks with this Phillies ball club. Charlie Emanuel, prior to the start of the game, was talking about his team. He said, listen, every team goes through this. And he was even quoted after the Braves series as saying that he doesn't like the body language and the way his team has gone about a lot of different things. He turned the television off prior to the start of that game. So he wanted the guys to focus on the task at hand. And they have dipped in the standings. What was a first-place lead over the likes of the Braves and the Marlins and the Nationals is now a 3-game deficit in the National League East. But the hope is, as they get healthier, and they seem to be getting healthier, that their luck will change. As Carlos Ruiz takes a fastball from Matt Latos for a strike, and it's 0-1. Carlos has picked it up of late, brought his batting average back over 300.
They're really having an extreme overshift on him towards right center, leaving a big gap in left center. And they must be planning to pitch him away because they're really playing him away.
On the inside corner, 1-2.
First 2 pitches were away, and then he came back inside with a fastball. This guy has a really good command of his pitches tonight. You can see why his numbers are so good.
Another thing he's had is that he has had good velocity on his fastball. He's been in the mid-90s, including with that pitch at 94.
Yeah, and it's been in good spots like that one. You know, it's not like he's throwing 94 or 95 right down the middle, because even a team in a slump can hit those.
Well, he's got the first out here in the home third. Here's Roy Halladay, and here's that pitch the Wheels was talking about.
Now watch the location of it. It's coming in, and it moves. And either Carlos got jammed or jammed himself. Depends on how you look at it.
Halladay hitting $111. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes to him. Roy with 4 hits and 36 at-bats. Opposite way, and that's going to sneak into right field. Venable got on it quickly, but Halladay got up the first base line quickly. First hit of the night for the Phillies. And it's the 5th hit of the year, and he does rock. And for the time being, he's rocking at the plate.
I hurt his hands a little bit. Hit it right off the end of the bat. And it somehow squirts through. They had the first baseman Gonzalez way off the bag, figured that he might do that, and I guess they figured they had him off far enough that they could cheat the second baseman up the middle just a little bit next time. But that thing's got through, even though one hit very hard.
Well, now Shane Victorino, who grounded out his first time, up 0 for 1. They're actually holding Halladay on at first, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, because Victorino pulls enough that you know, you think that now all of a sudden they're going to get off him at first base, because that just didn't. Well, no, they're not. It looked like Gonzalez was asking if they wanted him to move off.
Now they're going to tell him to go off of Halladay.
Yeah, he just made the sign. I think what happened was they wanted to play off him there, but Latos didn't see it. So you don't want to move your first baseman off and then him fake a throw over there, be surprised, because then it's a balk. So that was a good job by Gonzalez to just stay on the bag.
2-0 the count to Victorino. And he hits it in the air deep down the right field line. Moving back is Venable to the wall. Gone! 2-run home run for Shane Victorino. And the Phillies have wiped away this deficit. They take a 2-1 lead, and it's the first home run against Latos in his last 5 starts.
They've gone 38 and a third inning before that home run. Shane got a fastball in a little bit, really turned on it. It's a good idea. You know, he's looking to pull there, maybe even get Halladay to third. And the pitch, oh boy, did he miss his spot. That's one of the few times tonight that Latos has missed his spot, and Shane made him pay for it.
And Carl Beeler of Northampton, Pennsylvania, you've won $200 thanks to McDonald's and also thanks to Shane Victorino.
And Latos just sailing along with the pitcher up and 1 out and no hits. And all of a sudden, Roy Halladay shoots one through, and then Shane Victorino hits a fastball out of the ballpark.
9th home run for Victorino. 35 runs batted in. And the count is 0-1 to Polanco. And a hook. That drops right over for a strike. We haven't seen too many curves from Latos. And that was one right there. It's 0-2. Another curve. Roll towards shortstop. Hairston surrounds it. And Polanco is retired. Well, the Atlanta Braves, who are smoking hot right now. Phillies hope they are cooled off by the time they come in for a 3-game series beginning Monday, July 5th. That's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Then Tuesday the 6th is the IBEW Local 98 Charlie Manuel Louisville Slugger bat for fans 14 and under. That's the bat that Charlie's holding right now, and it's a great item. Again, fans 14 and under will receive that night. Charlie was pretty stoked when he saw that bat for the first time. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. And who wouldn't want an official Louisville Slugger Charlie Manuel bat?
That sounds like a great giveaway. First started with promotions. Bat Day used to be the most popular one.
Has to be. Chase Utley's the hitter. The count 1 ball and no strikes. In fact, I remember as a kid, they went away from the normal size bats and went to the mini bats.
Yeah.
There was a lot of disappointment, but now they're back to the big ones. That's been a popular day over the years. From Pat Burrell to Ryan Howard.
And Bat Day was always the giveaway day for kids.
2-0 the count up. Yeah, it's 3-0. So Latos has not only allowed the home run in this inning, but he's starting to fall behind some hitters.
So he's getting off his fastball, too. His fastball has been his best pitch so far. His location on getting another hitter. He just had a fastball hit out of the ballpark. You know, sometimes guys will get a little hesitant after that. We'll see.
And Chase takes the 3-0 pitch for a strike.
Because when your fastball's as good as his has been and the locations it's been in, you want to stay with it, I would think.
Ball 4.
There you go. He really got off the fastball since Victorino hit a home run. Now, of course, the catcher, Nick Hundley, maybe he's calling it. But, you know, we think that they're sitting in that dugout right now thinking, why is he getting off his fastball like this?
Oh, we mentioned that Hundley has done most of the catching of Latos this year. This is the 8th time he has caught Latos in the 11 starts he has made.
Well, they got Ryan Howard fishing for all kinds of off-speed stuff his first time up. So, you know, they may try that again. I don't know that it was, I think, what, 3 pitches his first time. I don't think any, maybe the first one was a strike.
The last 2 were definitely breaking pitches.
They went change-up breaking ball on him.
2 away. You see the overshift on against Ryan. Ryan out in front of another soft pitch, and it's 0-1. That was a slider from Latos. Ryan had a home run on the road trip, but his homers have been few and far between as well. He has 9 on the year. A little home cooking will do him some good. He takes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball at the belt for a strike, and he didn't like that call from Jim Wolf.
Chirping at him a little bit.
Jim Wolf pulled the mask up a little bit. I think he may have said something first. 0-2 the count.
He went up there again. Ooh. That one ran back, but not enough.
He lays off. They appeal. No swing, says Jim Joyce. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's how they got Ryan out last time. Something off speed in the dirt, and that time he does not go.
Phillies lead it 2-1 thanks to Shane Victorino's first home run since the 15th of May.
Boy, it feels good to have a lead, doesn't it?
It sure does. Down low, ball 3. Utley will be off and running.
Well, the Phillies have not had many leads lately. This feels weird to look up there and see them ahead in the game.
Well, they didn't lead at all in the Braves series.
Yeah, you look back in the Mets series, they got shut out, so they obviously didn't lead in that series.
Well, they only led a couple times, obviously, in the Marlins series.
So they haven't had a lead since last Saturday.
Chase goes 3-2, swung on and fouled. Ryan just got a piece of it. Well, some out-of-town news. Dave Tremblay was let go as the manager of the Baltimore Orioles, and Juan Samuel, Sammy, was named the interim manager of the O's. Gary Allenson is the new third base coach for the Orioles, and in his debut as the skipper, his Orioles trail the Red Sox 4-0 at the top of the third on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Utley goes again, 3-2 again, hit in the air, foul.
Talked to Sam Peralta, and I said, boy, I saw your name a lot today. He started laughing because he knew what I meant right away, because the last time the Orioles did something, they fired Sammy and put Dave Tremblay in as the interim manager. And that didn't work out so well.
See what Sam did as the manager of the Orioles. 122 wins, 164 losses.
He said, yeah, it must have been my fault.
Chase goes again. And there's ball 4. Back-to-back walks. First to Chase Utley, now to Ryan Howard. And Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, is heading out to the hill.
They have an interesting coaching staff. A couple ex-Phillies, Darryl Ackersfeld's out in the bullpen. He's been the bullpen coach for a long time. And Randy Reddy's their hitting coach, who was a minor league manager in the Padres system. And Ted Simmons is a coach, too, for them, who was a pretty good player in his own right. Talk about some of those great Cardinal teams. Bud Black, the manager.
Well, they have credited Darren Balsley for really this renaissance for this pitching staff. He's been the pitching coach even before Bud Black took over as the manager. But how about having Bud Black, a former pitching coach for the Angels, and Balsley together on this staff? And you see what Latos has done this inning. It's a 360 from what he did in his first 2 innings.
Well, and it looked like it was going to be easy, too, because he got Carlos Ruiz out and then the pitcher coming up, and he figured he was going to have an easy inning. And they've really made him work.
Here's Jason Ward. Jason takes one low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, Jason had a real good at bat his first time up when I think he saw 6 pitches and walked.
Let's see if the Phillies can capitalize on this wildness. They give Jason a huge gap in left center field.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of pitch him away, play him away here. Latos, they said, once in a while can get a little bit fried out there. And he looks like that's happening to him right now. They said he's much better controlling his emotions, but he does have the potential to have the back of his neck get a little red sometimes when things aren't going right.
It's the opposite way, down the right field line, foul and out of play. And it's 2-1. It has been 2 weeks to the day since Jason's last home run. He has thrived here at this ballpark. John Emanuel saying today, people were asking about Chase Utley and his health and about the team's defense and Ryan Howard's power struggles. He always said, just get some hits, boys, score some runs, things will start to turn around. Three and one now to Jason.
Yeah, Jason just swung at a 2-0 pitch that, he's the first to know that was not a good 2-0 to swing at. It was off the plate or a little bit, and, he got a weak foul to the right side. Now he's ahead in the count again, 3-1 in one of those real good hitter situations where you eliminate half a home plate.
Runners not being held on. And it's full, 3-2. So they'll start Chase off second base and Ryan Howard off first with this next pitch. Pitches this inning for Latos.
Yeah, it's a good job.
This is a good job. All the way up to 61.
Yeah, good job by the Phillies in this inning, Tom, on a hot night to make him work hard. These guys are used to playing in nice weather.
The runners go. The pitch is swung on and missed, and Jason's down swinging. The Phillies do get two, though, on a 2-run home run by that guy, Shane Victorino. It's the first in a little more than 5 games given up by Latos. The first for Shane since the 15th of May, and the Phillies lead it by 1. Are settling in with a 2-1 lead. Roy Halladay working with the lead against the bottom of this Padres order. It'll be Jerry Hairston Jr., Tony Gwynn Jr., and Matt Latos to start it off. Sarge, we got some father-son combinations going on here tonight.
Yeah, we do. And brother combination. Jerry Hairston, the older brother of Scott.
It's that one foul right past the third base coach's box, and it's 0-2.
Scott got all the height in the family.
There's Glenn Hoffman, whose brother Trevor got the changeup in the family. Have you talked to Jerry and the fact that Scott got all the height? Have you discussed this with him before?
I thought I'd just give him a day and then go down and talk with him tomorrow.
Well, I would have to think that their dad and their grandfather unbelievably proud of the fact that they are a third-generation baseball family.
Oh, definitely. Grew up in the Chicago area.
And a swing and a miss and a high fastball. One away.
And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
Now there's Leslie Goodell, who was reading Casey at the Bat with the Fanatic. It's about reading night here at the ballpark. And the Philly Fanatic doing its best impersonation of Casey. You know who used to be really good at that, Sarge? Tug McGraw was great at that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he did that at Carnegie Hall. And I tell you, you got to have some nerve to be able to do that. Obviously, Tug had that. You know, the guys that don't get embarrassed can do just about anything. And I got to tell you, Tug was one of those guys. One of those guys.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Tony Gwynn Jr. And he takes a sinker on the inside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. I remember watching Tug McGraw do Casey at the bat and numerous dinners around the Delaware Valley. He did it while he was standing on the mound at the vet one day in between games of the doubleheader. And a swing and a miss and another sinker from Halladay. Well, he has had some great movement on his fastball this evening. And he's got another strikeout. Second one of the inning, 4th overall for the Phils right-hander.
Yeah, that ball cutting in there on young Gwynn. As you can see this ball there as it does go down there. Good two-seamer.
And with 2 outs, here's Latos. Latos is retired or reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. He tried to bunt 2 of his teammates up to second and third, but Carlos Ruiz threw ahead of Nick Hundley and got him at third. The 0-2 pitch, and he got a piece of it. Well, Roy has thrown himself a lot of pitches so far through 4 innings or into the 4th inning. And a swing and a miss and a breaking ball, and he has just struck out the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Padres. 3 swinging strikeouts. First, Jerry Hairston, a high fastball. Then Tony Gwynn, a low fastball. And finally, back. McCafe your day at McDonald's with a new McCafe Frappe. And by Suzuki and the amazing Kazashi Sports Sedan. Well, bottom of the 4th inning. Phillies lead it 2-1. Raul Ibanez is going to lead it off. Well, Sarge, tonight, all fans 14 and under, and this is all about the Fanatic About Reading night at the ballpark, receive a version of the Philly Fanatics Galapagos Islands Adventure. Now, this is the hard copy. Tonight, the soft copy was given out, and we saw Leslie Goodell reading Casey at the bat, where the Fanatic was Casey. So the fans tonight have a great giveaway if they were 14 and under. But this book, they can purchase here at the ballpark. And the Fanatic and his great friend Tom Burgoyne putting together another beautiful piece of literature.
Yeah, I looked through that. It's pretty nice.
Nice pictures. Like the pictures that are in there, too.
Love the pictures.
Yeah. The Fanatic, of course, is from the Galapagos Islands. So this is a tour through the Galapagos Islands, and the Fanatic and his great friend Tom Burgoyne and Len Epstein, who is the illustrator, they have put together a number of great books over the years. So if you weren't here at the ballpark tonight, if you're watching at home, You can get this book here at the ballpark next time you stop by. Pretty good.
How much was that?
That's an excellent question, Sarge. $9.95.
Okay.
You know something about retail. Price is important. 1-2 the count to Raul Ibanez, who struck out his first time up. And Raul takes one in tight. It's 2-2. It'll be Ibanez, Juan Castro, and Carlos Ruiz for the Phillies. And off the outside corner, 3-2. Sarge, the Phillies have taken a different approach on Latos these last 2 innings. They're telling the young man, hey, you're going to have to throw some pitches if you're going to get us out.
Yeah, well, going back to the basics.
Off the end of the bat, over towards shortstop. It's a good thing Jerry Hairston saw it for the Padres because his brother Scott couldn't see it out in left field.
Yeah, they actually talk about that before the game starts, and it's always a time you tell the infielders, keep an eye on the balls there. It's getting dust. I'm not going to see it when it comes off that bat.
Well, one away, and here's Juan Castro. He grounded out to third his first time up. First pitch strike on the outside corner at 96 miles an hour. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Jays lead the Yankees 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. How about Jose Bautista? 2 more home runs. Unbelievable. He has 18 home runs, which is a career high already. And the Phillies will see the Blue Jays here at the ballpark at the end of the month. A 3-game series that was originally scheduled for Toronto. That's now here in Philadelphia.
A lot of home runs. Wondering if he's still leading off. Gaston had him leading off. Many home runs. We want him hitting probably 3rd, 4th, or 5th, doing damage with runners on base.
Two and two the count. A curveball high to Castro.
That curveball that's high is the one you want to stay on. He has pretty good break on that ball. Hard spin when he throws it, and when it's down, it even breaks right towards the dirt.
He stays alive, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Latos is walking around the mound, probably wondering what the heck is going on. Why are they cheering that foul ball by Castro? Well, that's why. The Flyers have scored in the first period across the street. They lead the Blackhawks 1-0. Flyers and the Blackhawks have been tied or separated by 1 goal in that series 96% of the time, Sarge.
Don't have to be a hockey fan to enjoy those games that have been on. Those hockey players, too, are great athletes to skate like that.
And a swing and a miss by Castro. And he is rung up for the 2nd out.
Get knocked on the boards on the skates.
Well, off the faceoff, the Flyers took the 1-goal lead. Mike Richards. Boy, some of these guys have had some unbelievable games so far. And how about Richards with the steal? Right on the edge of the net, and then the backhand right between the 5-hole. I'll tell you, the other night, watching that game when we got off the plane from Atlanta, watching that game and seeing all of the orange at the Wachovia Center was unbelievable. Here's Ruiz with 2 away. And Carlos hits it the opposite way, slowly toward Gonzalez. He says he'll take it to the bag himself. And it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Latos. He's retired 4 in a row. We have played 4. The Phillies hang it on to a 2-1 lead. It goes off on Tuesdays and Fridays. And we start the top of the 5th. And Will Venable leads it off for the Padres. Venable's 0 for 2. These are two tall fellows that are facing each other right now. Roy Halladay at 6'6", and Will Venable, who was an outstanding basketball player at Princeton University. In fact, he went to Princeton not to play baseball, but to play basketball. And he was a good one. I watched him play for a couple of years, Sarge, and he was averaging more than 10 points per game in a couple of different seasons for a Princeton team that went to the NCAA tournament and the NIT tournament. And then Scott Bradley, one of the great college baseball coaches in the country, the baseball coach at Princeton, was fortunate enough to have Will come out and play for the Tigers, and he turned himself into a very good college baseball player.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, and when you're able to play basketball along with baseball, and remember, those are some of the things that we did growing up, playing all the different sports and being pretty good at all of them.
He lines that pitch to right for a base hit. Jason Worth gets to it quickly and has to, because Venable runs very well. And he holds up with a leadoff single.
That ball out over the plate. I'm sure Roy wanted to get that inside on him. He has a long swing. Difficult for long swings when the ball is on the inside. See how that ball went right back out over the plate? You see Doc there not happy about it. He wanted that ball inside.
So Venable's aboard. He has stolen 12 bases this year. He's been caught twice. Here's Eckstein, who's 1 for 2. Polanco's in at third, and Halladay keeping Venable close at first. Breaking ball inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Eckstein, one of those players, handles the bat pretty good. Good guy to hit and run with, because he does make contact. And he's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes on him if he gets it that way.
There goes Venable. The chopper goes right through the hole. It's short into left field. Venable goes to third. Ibanez's throw not in time. And again, a little hit and run by the Padres. That set up their first run. Venable slid right into Placido Polanco's body and tag. And I think that may have caused him to see some stars.
It does look a little bit weary, and one of those things that can happen when you go head first. Good hit and run as he pulls the ball right into left field. Didn't hit it hard as Ibanez comes up with that throw.
Oh, right into Polanco's knee.
I think that bag might have had a lot more to do with it than the knee, because he has that helmet on the knee, or on his head there, and that helmet hits his knee.
He's being tended to by the Padres athletic trainers.
See how hard he hits the knee as he goes in head first.
I think the helmet hit the leg, and the leg pushed the helmet back down. That may have been the issue right there.
Hard slide, and when you slide over that bag, it's pretty hard. It's no fun.
They're taking a long time to make sure he's got his wits about him. But Black is out there. Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, is there. I guess it's his neck that seems to be bothering him, making sure that he can move it back and forth. I mentioned that Will Venable played basketball at Princeton University. The Padres actually have 2 players on their roster who played basketball at Princeton University. Chris Young, who is their big tall right-hander who's on the disabled list right now, was also a basketball and baseball player at Princeton.
Well, as tall as Chris Young is, you could definitely see that. He stands about 6'9" on the mound.
Well, now runners on first and third with nobody out. And Adrian Gonzalez is the batter. This is a tough spot for Roy Halladay, leading it 2-1.
Well, they'll go for the double play. He's looking for the strikeout. Difficult guy to strike out. Usually puts the bat on the ball.
And he does put the bat on the ball to center field. Victorino has it. Venable tags from third. He'll score easily. And this is a 2-2 game. It's a sac fly for Adrian Gonzalez. And there's one away here in the fifth. So Venable crosses the plate as he goes to the dugout. Congratulated by Chris Young right there, who's on the disabled list we mentioned.
It's good hitting by Gonzalez, getting the pitch up in the zone, not trying to do anything other than get it out in that outfield somewhere. If you get a hit, fine. If not, deep enough to get the RBI.
Here's Headley. He's 0 for 2. And he takes a pitch at the knees. It's no balls and 1 strike. Softly hit right side. Chase is going to have one play. And that's the throw. Headley out at first. Up to second goes Eckstein. And Halladay has 2 outs here in the fifth. And that'll bring Scott Hairston to the plate. Hairston has singled. He's walked. He scored a run back to the second. And a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1.
That's one of the things that Roy Halladay's been able to do, minimize the damage when he gets into trouble. That's also the sign of a #1 pitcher. You can do that and you can get strikeouts, and you don't have guys just squaring that ball up at him.
Is it harder to do that, Sarge, when you're struggling offensively, or
Definitely.
do you have to do that as a pitcher?
Well, definitely, but it puts even more pressure on the pitcher when you know that your team isn't scoring runs or driving in runs or even hitting the ball. And then when the defense isn't there, I mean, it's just almost impossible to win, and that has been the case. No defense, haven't been hitting, just not getting a lot of opportunities.
1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss, and Hairston's down on strikes. The Padres do tie it up on a sacrifice fly by Adrian Gonzalez, but as Sarge says, you minimize the damage. It's 2-2 with Halladay leading it off in the bottom of the fifth. It's a 252-page book. You can get it now by calling 877-GO-PHILS. Get it in the park at the Majestic Clubhouse store or online in the fans section at Phillies.com. Last of the fifth, another sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. A sellout over at the Wachovia Center with the Flyers leading the Blackhawks 1-0 in the first period. We go to the bottom of the fifth, and Roy Halladay, who singled and scored his first time up, takes a pitch for a strike to start the fifth.
Yeah, might as well start the rally again. Base hit somewhere.
He pulls it up the third base line, foul, and it's 0-2. Chase Headley playing over there at third base for the Padres. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals lead the Reds 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Getting closer and closer to Steven Strasburg's Major League debut for the Washington Nationals, who will have the #1 overall pick for another year in the Major League Baseball draft that's coming up. And a knee locker. Halladay goes down looking for the first out. So Latos picks up a strikeout. And we go back to the top of the order for Shane Victorino.
Well, you see how important it is when you're drafting #1. You got to end up signing those guys, and when you do and you have enough of them, you end up having a pretty good team. The Washington team is starting to come on, and they got a couple of guys, amateurs out there, that are going to be pretty good hitters. I'm sure they're going to be going after a hitter this particular time after getting the #1 pitcher.
Well, Bryce Harper is the proposed #1 overall pick. Back in the third, Shane Victorino, a 2-run home run that gave the Phils the lead at the time.
Yeah, get that foot down, a line drive fastball. He hits that ball in the right field. Halladay getting that rally started.
One outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hey, Sarge, Charlie said something interesting today. He was talking about his team's struggles. You mentioned the defense. They have 13 errors in their last 11 ball games. And Charlie said, essentially, that he's never met a team that has struggled offensively, that hasn't struggled defensively. You know, that the one struggles leads to the other struggles. You agree with that?
That's interesting, though, that he would say that. I thought, again, in playing in the outfield, if you end up making an error, you'd be so irritated that you would go up and have that incentive to hit the ball like that.
Yeah, Victorino hits it hard again, right off the scoreboard. He's speeding to second. He'll be there standing. Back-to-back extra base hits for Victorino, and he's in scoring position here in the fifth inning. 8th double of the year. He's 2 for 3. Well, this is a pretty good swing again. And here's Placido Polanco. Polanco's 0 for 2. So, I mean, it's interesting to hear Charlie talk about that the team's defensive struggles are partly because of their offensive struggles, but Victorino's not struggling tonight.
No, that's a line drive, and again, when he gets that foot down, he's as good a hitter as there is in the league, and a lot of times when he doesn't, he gets off balance up. And mostly on the off-speed pitches. That's why he pops them up.
Here's Polanco, who's 0 for 2. And he misses that breaking pitch. It's 0-1.
I would think if he gets a jump that he'd try to get over to third base. Especially when you're not scoring runs. You try and do things to make it easier for your teammate to drive you in. And saying that, you better make it if you go.
Eckstein's trying to keep him close at second. Opposite way, a line drive, knocked down by Eckstein. I don't think they're going to get Polanco. They won't. It's an infield hit for Placido Polanco. Runners on first and third here in the fifth.
Boy, give credit to Eckstein in stopping that ball. Give credit, too, to Sam Palazzo, third base coach. He had that play all the way with Shane coming around third and held him up so that he wasn't thrown out at home. Now watch this play as Eckstein dive, knocks it down, keeps it in front of him. been difficult for him to score. Just a good play. You know, a lot of times just stopping that play or the ball from going in the field. Now, Victorino's coming around. He's getting ready to dig, and right now he sees, oh, ho, ho, don't go because that ball was in front of him.
Yeah, he's thinking it got through. That was a heck of a play by Eckstein. So now Chase Utley is the hitter with runners on first and third in a 2-2 game. And a quick toss over. Polanco with a very short lead. Chase walked his last time up. Grounded to shortstop. And they throw behind Victorino, and he gets back standing.
That play was actually set up. That's why it was an outside fastball. They have signs where they want to throw to the bags to alert the fielder to get over to the bag.
1-1 the count to Chase. Inside, did it hit him? It did. Bases are now loaded.
Yeah, well, Chase is in one of those modes. He either get say hit or get hit. He didn't even move at all. We've seen that before on balls that are on the inside. Little cutter coming in. You can see him saying no, he didn't seem to move.
There's Joe Thatcher loosening up. They just put another goal up on the board for the Flyers. Matt Carl has given the Flyers a 2-0 lead, and that game is now late in the first period. Late in the first period over at the Wachovia Center. Well, offense tonight.
We need it. Big situation here for Ryan Howard. That ball kind of breaks it open a little bit to give Halladay some breathing room, but solid contact. Needs it out in that outfield someplace.
The infielders on the right side for Ryan. And a swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. That's that slider from Latos, and he has shown that slider and the changeup a lot to Ryan tonight.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. We talk about staying on the fastball. Well, for me, up to 2 strikes, you go and you look soft. Then you get back to hard again because you don't want him to throw the fastball by you. But he's been throwing them soft. He'll throw the fastball just to probably show. There it is again, off-speed pitch.
Yeah, back-to-back sliders to Ryan.
And the only way that you stop that is you go up to the plate. You say, whatever I do, I'm not going to swing at anything that is low. Both those pitchers were down in the zone there for me.
0-2 the count to Ryan. The bases are loaded here in the bottom of the 5th. And a swing and a miss at a high fastball. Second time tonight, Ryan has gone down on strikes.
Yeah. That's not a pitch normally you'll get by Ryan Howard, and exactly sitting on something maybe off speed, trying to catch up with the fastball. So he's not happy about himself. He's late on a fastball, almost right down the middle for me. So he throws the helmet, not liking it. Probably go down, take a look at it, see if he can do a better job the next time.
Well, now it's up to Jason Worth, who struck out his last time up with 2 runners aboard. Here the bases are loaded and the game tied at 2. Phillies are looking for that 1 hit or maybe those 2 hits that'll just end this difficult offensive slide. They've got Victorino at third, Polanco at second, and Utley at first with 2 outs.
Those are the things that put pressure on you when you get men in scoring position. You're not making contact. Have a tendency the next time you press a little bit more or try a little bit harder. Either one. You got to be relaxed when you have men on base. Pressure always on the pitcher to throw a strike.
2-0 the count to Jason. All right, what do you do here if you're Jason? It's 2-0, bases are loaded. He takes a lot of pitches as it is, Sarge.
Well, Jason hasn't been swinging good for over the last week and a half. And even on fastballs, he's been a little bit late. So if I'm him in this situation and I haven't been swinging well, I'm looking for one pitch, and that's a fastball. Again, I don't want the fastball to go by me. Just get me over fastball. Anything other than that, off speed, I'll be disciplined enough to take that pitch. And I just don't want him to throw a little cookie in there and think he can get away with it.
Outside corner. That's not the 2-0 pitch that Jason wants to take a hack at.
Yeah, and even so, though, it wasn't even good balance. Even when he took that pitch, he's going to swing. Look at his hips leaving, so he's anticipating that the ball is almost inside as opposed to outside. When he's going good, that same pitch, he drives to right field someplace.
3-1 the count. 8-3 ball counts for Latos. Ibanez waits on deck. He's opening it up with a lead. Victorino, Polanco, Utley all the way around from third to first. 3-1 to Jason. And he fouls off the 3-1 pitch. Kind of night. Latos at 95 pitches into the fifth. This is also an indication how the Phillies have struggled offensively because they've let him off the hook.
They've let him off the hook. Normally some of those pitches they're hitting. Jason a little bit tentative on that 3-1 pitch. Even if you miss the pitch, you want to be aggressive. Aggressive in your zone.
Runners will take off on this one. Here's the 3-2. Inside and low, ball 4. That'll force in a run, and the Phillies retake the lead. That turned out to be a heck of an at-bat by Jason Worth. Bud Black is heading out to the mound. This doesn't look like a trip to the mound to make a change because he was trotting out pretty quickly. Like we said, he's a former pitching coach. Helped the Angels win a world championship as Mike Scioscia's pitching coach. He's got Thatcher. Thatcher thought he was coming in.
Well, they're calling now to check to see whether or not he's ready or not. Well, Black probably telling him, hey, you can't nibble. You got to go right at the hitters. I thought he nibbled a little bit at Jason Worth. Even that 3-1, perfect pitch for the pitcher. Then 3-2, tried to make another one down and in. Jason wasn't going for it. Took it and got the walk.
See the line on Latos. The 4 walks he's issued this evening. The most he's given up this year. He has 6 strikeouts, which is right around his average.
Yeah. Well, Black actually going on the way the club has been playing and knowing they haven't been scoring a lot of runs. So when your pitchers have been giving you and doing a good job all year long, well, what you do is you go up and try and give him a little bit more confidence by leaving him in the game in this situation.
Sean Gallagher was the right-hander loosening up. Good play by the catcher Hundley to block that one and keep Polanco at third. 1-0 the count. There's Polanco. He's at third. Utley's at second. And Worth's at first. Good speed. Vanya has really good numbers with the bases loaded in his career. And he pops it up. Foul territory. Left field line. Out of play. I'm not really sure where Headley was going. The ball was in the crowd and he was climbing on the tarp.
Good situation here for Ibanez. I still think, again, pressure on the pitcher because he's the one with the ball. He's the one that has to throw a strike.
Well, he does throw a strike with a breaking pitch, a slider. Well, he has varied the speed of his slider tonight from 90 to that one at 85.
Yeah, tried to backdoor that slider there. He was asking for the ball on the outside part of the plate. That ball came on the inside.
One and two the count to Ibanez. 2-2. They forced Latos to throw 100 pitches. We're only in the bottom of the fifth. And again, the count is 3-2. That's the 8th full count for Latos tonight. Castro on deck. The runners will be off again with this pitch. Talking about putting pressure on the opposing pitcher.
I think this will be his last hitter no matter what. And again, predictable pitch here. Should get a fastball. Just want to way back and just drive it up the middle if you can.
The runners go. And a swing at a foul ball right past the Phillies dugout. Well, the Blackhawks scored to make it 2-1, but the Flyers have answered. Boy, in a matter of seconds, they now lead it 3-1. Claude Giroux with the third goal. Boy, they are just spreading it around. And the fans here at the ballpark see the score go up on the board. 3-2 the count to Ibanez. Runners go. The pitch popped up. Up the third base line. This isn't going to be an easy play. And third baseman Headley finds it and makes the catch. So the Phils do get a run, but they strand the bases loaded. Latos may be done. If he is, they'll lead trailing it by 1. During their last at bat, including one by Jason Worth with the bases loaded. Sarge.
Great indication. Hit as good as a walk. See those balls that are down there. Jason still a little bit undecided. That ball down. A little more hittable. 3-2. What a great at bat there. 6 pitches in that at bat.
Well, Jason is eventually going to put that glove on the hand, but he's just kicking back a little bit in right field, play a little hacky sack with the glove. Latos, he's still steaming in the dugout about his last inning because it's probably his final one. There's a little bit of a delay because a ball fell on the field and they had to retrieve it out in the outfield, but we're ready to go here in the top of the 6th. And the first pitch to Hundley, and he hits it to right for a base hit. Jason thought about trying to throw behind him or even ahead of him at first, but Hundley is aboard to start the inning.
Yeah, it's actually, as soon as he hit that ball, he knew he hit it pretty hard. He started running fast. to first base just in case Jason was going to throw the ball to Ryan Howard.
Sarge, let me ask you something. What do Len Barker, Randy Johnson, and Mark Burley all have in common?
No hitters.
Very true.
Perfect games. No hitters.
First pitch to Jerry Hairston. He pops it up to left field. Ibanez coming on, makes the call and catch. One away. Well, to expand on that a little bit, they are the only three pitchers since 1900 to retire the side in order in the first inning after throwing the perfect game the start before. How about that? Why do you think that is?
Well, I got to tell you, to be quite honest, I don't even like thinking about no hitter, no hitters, you know. But really, you got that. For a pitcher to go out and be able to do that and to throw that, not only does he have to have some luck, you got to have extremely good pitches that particular night, and evident of the way that Roy threw his game that we saw, and I'm sure the other games that we didn't. They had to be that same way. Hard hit balls, guys making good plays.
Well, Roy tonight got the first two batters in the first, and then Adrian Gonzalez singled. So he didn't join that club as Tony Gwynn Jr. fouls off the 0-1. It's 0-2. Halladay has gotten Gwynn on strikes tonight, but he's also singled. Toward the hole. Oh, boy. Took a hop right over the glove of Polanco. It's a bad hop base hit for Tony Gwynn Jr. And he's 2 for 3. Nothing Polanco could do about that. He goes over to dust off the area where he thought the ball bounced.
Yeah, I don't know if he would have gotten a double play because Gwynn runs quick. You would have gotten that one out, though. That ball takes that bad hop, top spin, and goes right into left field.
Well, now Lance Zawatsky will pinch hit for Latos. Zawatsky 4 hits and 18 at bats. And he hits one on the hand. Slow roller towards short. Castro's got it. Has to hurry his throw to first in time to get the second out. That's the only play he had. So Latos' day is done. 5 innings, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. Mojica will look like he'll be the new pitcher for the Padres. And now a pinch hitter for Will Venable. He got his bell rung. But he was running the bases back in the 5th. Chris DeNorfia, the former Cincinnati Red, will pinch hit. So Bud Black has had to go to his bench and make 2 moves. And Halladay throws a breaking ball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Off the end of the bat, right back to the box. Halladay is through 6 innings. He strands 2 more. He has stranded 8 through the first 6, including 2 here in the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Phillies lead it by 1. couple changes for the Padres. DeNortia stays in the game to play right field. He pinch hit for Will Venable. And Edward Mojica is the new pitcher for the Padres. 22nd game for the right-hander, 3.46 earned run average. Sarge, he has 26 strikeouts in 26 innings.
Wow.
This Padres bullpen has a handful of guys, 4, who have either have a strikeout per inning on average or more. And that helps when you come out of the bullpen firing strikes.
The reason why they end up winning. You have a strong bullpen that you can go to. You can go to those guys in the 6th inning, you're ahead, and you end up winning your ball game.
Well, Juan Castro leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th. Shows bunt, takes a breaking ball for a strike. Juan is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also struck out. Grounded out the 3rd, his first time up. Padres bullpen this year, a 2.77 combined earned run average, 188 strikeouts and 175 in 2/3 innings.
You have a strong bullpen like that. It makes that manager's job that much easier, as it doesn't matter who he calls on. They've all been doing the job. And you end up having a little competition out there in that bullpen to actually stop runs, and they have been doing it.
I mentioned before, Sarge, that the Padres have come east to play once so far. They have a handful of trips east before the All-Star break. Will that be one of the litmus tests for them coming from the West Coast to see how they fare against teams in the East like the Tampa Bay Rays and the Phillies and the Marlins and the Mets?
Yeah, it will be. But the good thing is that you're doing it early. That you're doing it early enough where now, after that All-Star break, you won't be as tired going from West Coast to East Coast. So it should really help you. And if you're not playing as well, then, hey, guess what? You'll play better.
See, now I'm glad I asked you that, because I was thinking, wow, they've got a rough stretch before the All-Star break. This isn't going to be good. The Dodgers can make up some games. But the way you put it, it makes sense.
Yeah, well, do it early, then you get back on that West Coast there after the break. Though the guys will feel a lot better.
Swing and a miss, and Castro is down on strikes. And the most wins by a Padres team in their first 53 games is 33. And they've got 32 this year. This is the first time at this point in the season that they've had the best record in the National League.
And largely because of that bullpen and the numbers that you mentioned. You won't do that without a good bullpen or really good starters, but you got to have a good bullpen these days.
Here's Ruiz with one out, and he takes a fastball for a strike.
The guys just aren't pitching as many innings, obviously, and the reason you do have that good bullpen is to take that slack up.
Slow chopper foul off the leg of Ruiz. And it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Carlos has popped out to Gonzalez, and he's grounded out to Adrian Gonzalez at first. He's had one career at bat against Rico. This guy's getting into the PA system here. Also getting into the All-Star game, making sure they cast their ballot. Off the hands. Boy, that was a tough pitch to swing at. He tried to pull it, and he's retired by X time for the second out. So Mojica has the first 2 batters out here in the 6th, and here comes Roy Halladay. Well, it is that kind of night here at the ballpark where your eyes are on the game here, but you might have a part of your head on what's going on across the street at the Wachovia Center. Hello, Gary Matthews. I'm Tom McCarthy. Phillies lead at 3-2 here at Citizens Bank Park over at the Wachovia Center. That they're at the end of the first period in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Flyers lead the Blackhawks 3-1. Roy Halladay, following up his perfect game last Saturday against the Marlins, has a 3-2 lead, and this is his third at bat. And he has seen 5 pitches in his last 2 at bats, and he's seen 5 strikes.
Good athlete, although he hadn't had the chance to hit being in the American League, so not able to work on the trade of hitting.
You didn't work with him for that 1 year?
I wouldn't help at all on that slider.
He's down on strikes, nothing across for the Phillies. We've played 6. We go on to the 7th. It's a 1-run game.
Verizon Wireless game summary. Phillies with a 3-2 lead as we go to the 7th inning. Tony Gwynn Jr. with an RBI hit tonight. Shane Victorino, 2-run home run, gave the Phillies a lead. Adrian Gonzalez tied it with a sac fly, then a bases loaded walk to Jason Worth. Roy Halladay threw 6 innings, 93 pitches. Kind of a hang-in-there night for him, Tom.
Roy Halladay, who is the National League Pitcher of the Week, looking for his 8th victory of the year. Coming off the perfect game his last time out against the Marlins. And it's 0-2 to David Eckstein. He has had 1-2-3 innings tonight, Wheels. That was back in the 4th.
That's what I mean about a hang-in-there night. He's made some really good pitches when he's had to. And they found some holes on him. They've run a couple times and opened up holes.
And he wanted that pitch to Eckstein, but he didn't get it from Jim Wolf, the home plate umpire. Halladay began the game tonight with a 1.99 earned run average. It's gone up a little bit with the 2 runs the Padres have scored. Eckstein just puts the bat on the ball, somehow got a piece of it.
He is a pest. He really is. You talk about a guy who's maximized his skills to have a heck of a career. It's that guy right there. You really got to admire what he can do.
So 1 away here in the top of the 7th. I remember watching him, Wheels, as a young player in AA in Trenton, New Jersey. And when the Red Sox let him go, I was thinking, what are they, nuts? And then he went on to win a World Series, not only with the Angels, but also with the Cardinals.
Well, sometimes you don't measure a guy's heart. And that's what that guy has.
Adrian Gonzalez has a base hit and 2 official at-bats and an RBI and a sac fly. And he hits one toward right field. Jason Worth heading back. It's over his head, and it's off the base of the wall. Gonzalez is trying for 2. The throw to second is a little offline. And Adrian Gonzalez, who can just flat out hit, has his 9th double of the year. That's the 10th hit for the Padres tonight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, a lot of hits tonight, a lot of base runners, and Halladay has just been able to work through it. Jason Worth was really hoping he could get a good carom off that fence out there, but it died on him. And he still made a good play on it. But see if it had come back a little bit harder. He was really going to try and hold him to a single or obviously throw him out. See Halladay checking out on what it hits in the screen out there, or right by the scoreboard in that fence, and it just knocked it straight down almost.
Here's Chase Headley, who swings at the first pitch. And the Padres have been doing a lot of that these last few innings, is swinging at the first pitch that Roy has thrown.
Well, he's right at 100 pitches right now.
And a lot of them are strikes. 74 strikes, 27 balls.
And he just missed his spot and got a pitch, got a strike. He was supposed to come inside on that one, and it was on the outside corner. But it was a strike, and Jim Wolf stayed with it. You know, they wore this guy out in the 3rd inning, throwing pitches that he kept swinging over. It looked like sliders, and that's what they're trying to do again to Headley. He really hasn't shown he can hit that pitch yet, so you figure they're going to keep throwing it to him.
Try to sneak a fastball by him, and it remains 0-2. Hey, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7, who will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
But they are set up to go back in there now with that breaking ball that he's been swinging over. That back foot slider looks like he's throwing. Let's see if they go there. And you see a little confusion. You know, maybe one wants it, one doesn't. And so they're going to talk it over. Big spot in the game. Good idea.
Well, last week when Roy threw that perfect game, he put so much credit onto the shoulders of Carlos Ruiz. And what a job he did calling the game. Rich Doobie, speaking of calling, is going to the phone to get the bullpen up. I think they shook each other off once, twice in that game last Saturday. That's it.
Well, they've thrown that down and in, that back foot breaking ball really, really well to him tonight. See what they decide to do. High fastball.
One and two the count. Throws that breaking pitch again, and he fouls it off.
There it is. And that time he made contact, but there's no way he could keep it fair. Goes right in the Phillies dugout to Milt Thompson.
Milt, who last night at Jimmy Rollins' baseball tournament, Wheels, showed up with his own ball and bag.
He's a serious bowler.
Oh, he was serious.
Yeah, he can bowl.
I think he had the highest score of anybody last night.
Those guys bowl in spring training. Some of them. Jimmy Rollins does.
He got a piece of it, and it's off the foot, I think. Must be, because Headley didn't run. It trickles foul anyway.
Well, he threw him a curveball that time as opposed to the sliders he's been throwing.
Well, neither team has really had a whole lot of success with runners in scoring position. The Padres have had a number of runners in scoring position. Phillies only 4. They do have a bases loaded walk, too.
Yeah, they've been out hit 10-4 of the Phillies tonight.
Again, it's 1 and 2. And a swing and a miss. They came inside with a cutter.
It's the same thing. You know, down and in, down and in, down and in to Headley. And he just has not handled that all night. Or if he makes contact, he hits it foul. And this is his out zone right there. And Halladay has the kind of pitches to get in there like that.
He's gotten Scott Hairston on strikes. 7 strikeouts for Halladay tonight. Hairston is 1 for 2. This guy's got some pop. And he hits it in the air, shallow center field. Running out is Utley, coming in. Victorino makes the catch. Roy Halladay strands another one. In fact, he has stranded 9 through 7. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies hanging on to a lead. The fans trivia quiz answer. Wheels, here it comes again. Can you name the pitcher who is the all-time Padres leader in wins?
No, but I'll say Randy Jones.
You know, I would have said Randy Jones also. And I would have gotten buzzed just like you.
Well, who is it?
The answer is Eric Schau.
Eric Schau.
100 victories for the Padres. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Jake Peavy. How about Jake Peavy? Forgot all about Jake Peavy.
Yeah, I thought about Jake Peavy, but I didn't think he was there long enough.
Well, as it turns out, you were right on with that one.
I thought Randy Jones would have had more. Well, Eric Schau is a heck of a pitcher.
Now we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Edward Mujica throws the first pitch inside to Shane Victorino. Eric Schau, who probably should have stayed in San Diego and not gone on to New York to play for the Yankees, is well known for winning 100 games for the Padres, but also for giving up Pete Rose's record-breaking base hits.
And enraging Andre Dawson in a game at Wrigley Field that was one of the all-timers. He hit Andre Dawson, and Dawson went after him, and that was, oh, wow. Was that a good one? But, yeah, he's best known. And, of course, he died very young.
Yep.
They have Thatcher up in the bullpen. They're one left-hander. Yeah, with Utley and Howard due to bat 3rd and 4th in this inning.
Meanwhile, the Phillies have Jose Contreras up for the 8th inning. Victorino hits it down the left field line. On the run is Hairston. Over toward the line, makes the catch in foul territory. And one away. Well, it's time now for our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Now, tonight it's the Fanatic About Reading Night at the ballpark. And the Fanatic fooling around with some of the young readers who did such a great job prior to the ball game. They were honored for their work in the classroom. And all fans 14 and under received the Philly Fanatics Galapagos Islands Adventure book. And there you see the bullpens. They are a brewing. Contreras is down low, a righty and a lefty, including Thatcher up top for the Padres.
I get the feeling that Halladay's probably has a chance to be finished tonight with Contreras up throwing like he is. We'll see.
Here's Polanco. Infield hit his last time out. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Off the end of the bat, he pulled it right to Jerry Hairston. He's short. Mahika's got the first 2 batters out here in the 7th.
Mahika has a tremendous split finger fastball, so I don't know. Maybe with nobody on base, he'll stay with him.
Well, there's Doc, who is just taking in the inning here in the 7th. I'll tell you, Wheels, he doesn't look like a guy that's finished, but
nope.
We'll see. Contreras.
That's why I threw a qualifier on them.
There's Charlie Emanuel talking things over with Rich Doobie. Brad Lidge will, looks like be the guy in the 9th inning if it's a save situation, since Contreras is loosening up here in the 8th. Chase has grounded out, but he's walked and he's been hit by a pitch.
Now they just jumped the shortstop, Hairston, over on the other side of second base for the first time tonight. Probably ahead in the count 2-0, and that's why. They figure he's more likely to pull everything 2-0. So that time they used the shift playing the count.
It's a Fanatic About reading night, and Phoebe makes a visit to the ballpark.
She made her son read.
That's right.
And look how he turned out.
I think Phoebe's going to venture to the top of the dugout where the Fanatic is right now.
Well,
one's on one side, one's on the other.
Yeah, they're on opposite sides right now. Phoebe's over on the third base side.
2-2 the count to Chase.
Do you know my boy? He's good, isn't he? He's so entertaining. I'm his mom.
Here's my tail.
Yeah, it's a kid might be a little traumatized.
There's ball 3 to Utley. It's 3-2. Howard hoping for another chance with a base runner. Phillies have taken the lead on a bases loaded walk. That was back in the 5th. And Chase fouls that one right off his foot. Charlie's been asked a lot the last few days about Chase's health because he had such a tough road trip. And Chase, and to Charlie's credit, he's so supportive of all of his guys, and he said, I can't wait to be around when this guy starts to swing again and make the contact that we know he can. Charlie said today that he was thinking about some of the balls that were hit on the road trip, and he said, yeah, there were chances, he thought, where his team could have knocked some pitchers out of a game that disappointed him. He said there were also some balls that were hit right at fielders that he knows is all part of the game. And he said there were a few that Chase hit that were hit right at some fielders. And a swing and a miss, and Chase is down on strikes. There's that split from Mahika. He's retired all 6 batters that he's faced tonight. We've played 7 here at Citizens Bank Park. The Fanatic, he's been busy. See if the Phillies defense can hold the Padres. The sold-out crowd, 66th consecutive sellout. Roy Halladay went 7 innings. He scattered 10 hits, and now the 8th inning belongs to Jose Contreras, setting things up for Brad Lidge in the 9th. 20th ball game for Contreras. Picked up 3 saves during Brad's absence. On the disabled list, 23 strikeouts in 16 2/3. Well, Jason Ward with the bases loaded walk back in the 5th inning. And Shane Victorino, when he crossed the plate, reached home safely. Safe and secure. New York Life. And that is the go-ahead run. The Phillies lead at 3-2. Nick Hundley leads it off for the Padres. And Contreras delivers one for strike. It's 0-1.
Roy Halladay tonight hung in there. 10 hits this time. So there's also, what, 1 walk?
1 walk.
That's 11 base runners, and they only got 2 runs.
He had a great ball strike ratio this evening. 0-2 the count.
Roy Halladay, not a guy that's going to necessarily strike out a lot of guys. It made us think today of the Phillies' all-time strikeout leader in the history of their organization, with 17 of them on April 23rd, 1961. That'd be a good trivia question.
We already did it, though.
We did it.
But you just gave the answer.
Well, that's true, but we're not going to be able to do it because I'm going to give an answer. Against the Cubs at Connie Mack Stadium, second game of the doubleheader by none other than a guy whose birthday is today. We'd like to say hi to him, Art Mahaffey.
Art Mahaffey, the great Art Mahaffey.
Yep. Artie had some day.
0-2 is inside. Did it hit him? It did. Got him right on the sleeve.
Yep, just nipped him. That's what we were saying last week when Roy pitched that perfect game. You know, he almost hit Cantu one time just like that. There's Artie's career with the Phillies.
148 starts, 59 wins with the Phils. A 2-time All-Star. 62, he struck out 12 batters, hit a grand slam in a game.
And he also, you know, said is the all-time Phillies strikeout leader in a game, and that's after Steve Carlton was here all those years.
Robin Roberts, Steve Carlton.
Yeah.
Here's Jerry Hairston Jr. with a runner at first. And he takes a pitch at the knees for strike. It's 0-1. The other thing, Art Mahaffey, after his career was over with, used to do so much great work in the community for his friend Chris Short, too.
Yes, he did. After Shorty died. And you talk about a great bowler. Was Art Mahaffey.
Could he bowl?
Oh, jeez. I guess he still can. But yeah, he did after we lost Shorty. That's a good point, Tom. Artie did a lot of great things in the name of his good friend Chris Short. They played together with the Phillies in the early 60s.
That's when I first talked to him, was when I was helping to promote that, doing some local radio shows. And he was great to chat with.
Just having a golf tournament.
0-1 the count to Jerry Hairston. Runner at first. And a pop-up. Good pitch from Contreras into shallow left center. Castro is going back. Ibanez coming in, and Raul makes the catch. Raul was calling it the whole time once he saw it. One away. That was a long run for Raul, but it was hit up there pretty good.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. The outfielder's supposed to run the infielder off it. Man, he had a long way to go for this. You see right there, Castro hears him, and he just peels off.
So 1 out here in the 8th. Phillies trying to get 5 more outs to win this one. And end what has been a 4-game losing streak that included a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Atlanta Braves.
Who's that in Matt Stairs' uniform on deck?
He looks great. He looks great.
Unbelievable. Got his ring before the. Yes, that's Matt Stairs.
He looks outstanding. He's dropped more than 20 pounds. He looks so much younger. Not that he didn't look young before, but his face looks so different.
It's incredible.
Great story in one of the San Diego papers about Matt's return here to Philadelphia. And basically the gist of the story was the man will never have to buy an adult beverage again in his life in Philadelphia.
Never.
7 home runs with the Phillies. But the one that's not listed there is the one that probably means more to everybody here in Philadelphia than any other.
It's a good job. There's Matt on deck. Good job by Quinn right here to Work the count. Yeah, one by one, the players are going over. People are going over and saying hi to him tonight.
3-0 the count. And a strike on the outside corner.
I was watching him in BP, though. It's the same swing. He was launching him out of here. Playing home run derby the way he always did in BP.
How did he do?
He hit a lot.
Runner goes. Pitch is low. Ball 4. 2 aboard here in the 8th inning. So he hit Hundley. He got Hairston to pop out. And now he's walked Tony Gwynn Jr. J.C. Romero is up and loosening in the bullpen. Let's see if Charlie Manuel makes a move here with the lefty Stairs being introduced. Well, Matt Stairs has been introduced, so Charlie Manuel's heading out to the mound. That's probably going to be it for Jose Contreras. There's the signal to the pen. So J.C. Romero is going to come on to face the left-hander Matt Stairs. We'll see if Bud Black makes an adjustment. It's our AT&T call to the bullpen here in Philadelphia with the Phillies up by 1. Comcast Sports Now, J.C. Romero has been summoned from the pen for the Phillies with 2 runners on and 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Charlie Manuel did that because Matt Stairs was introduced as a pinch hitter for the Padres. 13th game for J.C. at 2.25 earned run average. Well, Bud Black is going to counter with Oscar Salazar. Salazar, who's 3 for 20 as a pinch hitter this season, same amount of hits as Stairs has. He's batting with runners on first and second. Gwynn is the runner at first. Hundley, who you saw first, is at second. And the first pitch from Romero way outside. There's Matt, who didn't get a chance to bat against Romero.
Now they have Baez and Bastardo up in the bullpen to the Phillies. Right-handed hitter on deck because of Venable having to leave the game. I guess he got his bell rung a little bit in that play at third.
Yeah, they haven't said anything as to what the injury is.
It looked like he was really woozy when he got up.
Padres only have your Vitor Alba available off the bench. That's all that's left.
Right-handed hitter, catcher.
1-0 pitch. Little high, and it's 2-0.
They both thought that was a strike. Ruiz and Romero didn't get it.
Salazar last year did a nice job for the Padres. He had 269 for them.
This guy hurt the Phillies in the game when he was with the Orioles last year during that sweep. Remember, he got a base hit. I think it was a base hit to right field late in the game.
He was picked up by the Padres for Clay Meredith last season. He had 284 for the Padres. Or I should say 269 for him. 3-0 the count. Neither one of the runners being held on. So Gwynn leads out to where Ryan Howard is behind him. Down low, ball 4. The bases are loaded. The Phillies penalties backed themselves into a pretty tough corner here.
It would walk without a hit.
A hit batter and 2 walks by Jose Contreras and J.C. Romero. And now the bases are loaded for Chris Denorfia. It's time now for a Home Depot defensive play of the game. The wheels go back to the 2nd inning.
Yeah, Matt Latos, the pitcher, puts a bunt down. Carlos Ruiz does a nice job throwing that ball to third. They got a big out in that inning, and Roy Halladay only gave up the 1 run. That could have been more of a problem there. Nice play by Carlos Ruiz. The Home Depot doing more on defense.
Denorfia hits it the opposite way, foul over the Phillies dugout. Ball was drilled.
Really?
Well, whichever hit that gentleman right there, and he's okay.
Got him on the shoulder. Hope he's not pitching in some kind of league tomorrow, and he's a right-hander.
Toward third, could be 2. Polanco goes to third for 1. Over to first in time. A 5-3 double play. J.C. Romero throws a big pitch, and he got a big hop. And now there are big smiles everywhere. Final 3 games on this homestand before the Phillies head up to Boston to take on the Red Sox. Log on to Phillies.com now to make your purchase. How about this pitch from J.C. Romero? How about Chris Denorfia not taking a pitch? He swung at the first 2 he saw.
Yeah, that wasn't a strike either. He just swings on that. It's high and chops it right to Placido Polanco. Look what a great job he did to get his footwork right and then make the strong throw to first. 5-3 double play, and they got out of another jam.
Padres 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight. Phillies pitchers have stranded 11. Joe Thatcher, he's the new pitcher for the Padres. Just heard that Will Venable left the game because of a problem with his neck.
Yeah.
Got some muscle spasms.
You can see his head went right into Polanco's knee, didn't it?
Did. 0-2 the count to Howard.
Watching this guy warm up, he threw fastball, slider. He didn't throw any changeups. It looks like his fastball is kind of a cutter.
Mentioned that the Padres have a handful of guys out of the bullpen that average a strikeout or more per inning pitched. Well, Thatcher's not one of those guys, but he can, over the long haul, do that. As Howard lines it towards center field, it'll drop in for a base hit. A hump back glider, broke his bat.
Right off the end of the bat. That one had to feel good, because Ryan really had a tough night. And you go right-left here with Worth. And Tom mentioned those strikeouts they have out there in the bullpen. This is the only left-hander they have, Thatcher. Here it is. That's a slider, it looked like. And Ryan hits it right off the end of the bat, broke the bat, and found some open space. Look at that baby spinning. That's a great shot of the baseball. How it spins.
So they do stay with Thatcher with Ibanez on deck. Jason Worth, who has an RBI and a walk tonight. He's walked twice. And he takes one for a strike. It's 0-1. RBI for Jason, which is back to the 5th. It was his 35th of the year. He and Victorino are tied with Ryan Howard for the team lead.
You can see he doesn't throw real hard, as you mentioned, Tom, and he has kind of a funky delivery. And it looks like he tries to rely on a little bit of deception, and he cuts that fastball.
We're going through the Padres bullpen. Adams, Bell. And those are the two guys that receive most often for San Diego.
Gregerson, too.
Gregerson. They all average a strikeout or more per inning pitched.
Yeah. They're tough out there.
And Thatcher, it's Gregerson right there. Thatcher, it's only been a few innings, but he has averaged a strikeout per inning pitched, and he gets Jason Worth. One away here in the 8th. Hey, every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, which has happened only once tonight, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. Roy Halladay retired the Padres in order in the 4th. When you see his line tonight, 7 strikeouts over 7 innings, 108 pitches, and a whole lot of strikes thrown. Here's Ibanez, 0 for 3. He takes a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Well, Brad Lidge is up and loosening. So it'll be the 9th inning for him. And he'll come in, at least right now, in a save situation. Phillies received some good news today. Ryan Matson got the pins taken out of his foot, and he threw a little bit out in the outfield.
Well, that's an arm they'd sure love to get back, but it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while. Ruben Amaro said today he's going to start to build up his arm strength again, get out on the mound eventually. One-two to Ibanez. He stays alive as he hits that flying saucer over the dugout.
Yeah, that's what he's throwing. That's the pitch he just got Jason Worth out on that came bearing down and in on the right-handed batter.
Other Phillies news. Phillies have claimed Willie Taveras off of waivers from the Washington Nationals, and he'll report to Lehigh Valley. Dwayne Wise had the opportunity to opt out of his contract, and he did. Nelson Figueroa, meanwhile, cleared waivers, and he is scheduled to report to Lehigh Valley.
That gives him a little depth down there for later in the year.
Taveras tonight 0 for 4 for the Iron Pigs in their game against Charlotte.
this guy just goes away, away, away with everything to these left-handed hitters.
Three and two.
Whether he tried to do that or not, but he threw a pitch in.
See Juan Castro in the background. Probably won't send Ryan Howard here with the count 3-2 and 1 out. He doesn't go. And there's ball 4. Runners on first and second.
Right-handers available.
Yeah, he's coming out of the dugout. Bud Black is. He had one of the right-handers loosening up. So Thatcher faces 3 batters. He allows a base hit, gets a strikeout, walks 1. We've got a pitching change here in Philadelphia. 2 runners on with 1 man down. Between the Phillies and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Don't get shut out this summer. Plan ahead. Get your tickets for the end of July when the D-backs are here. Order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. We're here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 runners on. Phillies lead it by 1. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Trying to get some insurance. And Luke Gregerson, you could probably put comma slider next to his name. 26th game, 1.57 earned run average.
He's a right-handed Larry Anderson. I mean, a right-handed Sparky Lyle, and he's like Larry Anderson. He just throws breaking balls.
He puts peanuts on his face?
I don't know about that.
Hey, speaking of Larry Anderson, well, the broadcast booths got a great addition yesterday when the beautiful signs were put out front with Harry Callis's name on it. Harry Callis broadcast booth. That ball's out of here. And then over in the radio booth, there's Scott and Larry. The Whitey Ashburn broadcast booth. This game's easy, Harry.
That's great stuff, huh?
It is beautiful. Well, there have been plaques outside of both booths since Harry passed. Richie's plaque's always been out there since the ballpark opened, even over at the vet. As Castro takes a slider for a strike. And the Phillies and David Montgomery thought, you know what? The folks in the press box see that sign all the time. What about the folks in the stands? Let them know who these booths are named after. 2 great people. And they are beautiful signs if you get a chance to see them.
They really do look nice.
0-1 the count to Castro. And a swing and a miss at a fastball. And it's 0-2.
Well, they have in the reports fastball, slider, changeup, but don't expect many fastballs, especially when he's going for the kill to get you out. And he has 2 strikes now on. You see the first batter's face, only 2 have gotten on against. He has 2 strikes now on Juan.
On his 0 for 3 tonight. And he strikes out for the 3rd time. There's that slider. And they're 2 away.
Well, that is a nasty breaking ball. What you want to do in that situation, of course, when you throw good sliders like that, is do not even come close to throwing a strike. But you're going to get a lot of outs on non-strikes, and that's what he did there.
Oh, Brad Lidge is just about ready to come in. He's hoping for another run, though. Phillies lead it by 1. They've got 2 aboard with 2 outs at the bottom of the 8th inning.
Never seen a team overshift Ruiz like this one does.
And they overshift him the opposite way. I mean, the right fielder, Denorfia, is really shallow.
Look at that. That, you know, you want your right fielder to cheat in a little bit right now because of the runner at second on his offside. But to play the center fielder over like that, well, and of course they have pitched him away all night too.
1-1 the count to Carlos. Does a nice job laying off that slider.
Yeah, no, it's easier said than done. But you know, when you watch this guy, see scouting reports on him, you just have to look away for a right-handed batter. If he sneaks a fastball in on you, that's the way it goes. But he's going to try and get you out away, it looks like. And he's pulling off, and you know it's hard not to do sometimes with a guy with a hard breaking ball like this.
See Carlos's numbers with runners in scoring position. There was a good part of the year that he was the Phillies' leading hitter with runners in scoring position. He's got Howard at second. Ibanez is at first. Not a whole lot of opportunities for the Phillies tonight offensively. 2-2 the count to Carlos.
Another slider. And you have a left-handed hitter on deck, Ross Globe, with no left-handed pitcher available. D'Onofrio just came in another step, which is the correct thing to do for that right fielder now. Try and cheat in, and you know, if the ball's in front of you, cut off that extra run at the plate. You see how close D'Onofrio is now.
Carlos lines it to left field at base hit. Onto it quickly is Hairston. Howard holds up at third. And he gets the throw in fast. The bases are loaded for Globe.
Nothing Sam Palazzo could do there except hold him, even with 2 outs. He finally hung one to one of these guys. And Carlos did a good job of ripping it. Unfortunately, he hit it right at the left fielder Hairston. Hard on one hop. No chance to score. Watch this hanger. You see where they have been, and there's one he finally made a mistake on, a spinner in the middle of the plate. But luckily for Gregerson, he hit it so hard it was right at the outfielder.
Well, Ross Globe will get a chance to pinch hit with the bases loaded. Phillies had the bases loaded in the 5th. They got the go-ahead run, and then they stranded the bases loaded. Howard's on third. Ibanez is on second. Ruiz is on first. Charlie hoping for a clutch hit from Ross Globe. He's been his best pinch hitter this year. And a slider a little low according to Jim Wolf. 1-0 the count.
Playing Globe almost absolutely straight away in the outfield. Taking away the alleys, off the lines, and you see Gwynn right behind second base. Deep on the right side of the infield with Eckstein and playing him to pull up the middle with the shortstop.
He got a fastball, and it's 1-1. He got a piece of it as he fouled it off. Toward left field, Hairston on the run toward the warning track, makes the catch, and for the second time tonight, the Phillies have stranded the bases loaded. Ross Globe put a charge in it the opposite way, but the Phillies will have to settle for a 1-run lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning, and here comes Brad Lidge. A one-run victory in the first of this 4-game series. You know, last time Brad came up the disabled list, Charlie Emanuel said it's probably going to be a couple of games before he decides whether he was going to put Brad, or when he was going to put Brad back into the closer's role. Well, Charlie the other day seemed to decide that Brad was going to be the closer. It's only been a couple of days since he's off the DL, so he must feel like that one outing he had against the Braves, he showed a good enough slider that his command was where it needed to be. Rich Doobie liked the slider the other day. I was talking to Rich after that outing against Atlanta. He said the fastball will, get better, but the command of the slider was really good in that one inning against the Braves.
And he's going to face Eckstein right out of the chute. And if David Eckstein is the way he normally plays a game, is he will not swing till he gets at least one strike on him.
Well, this game will encore tonight at 11:30 on the Comcast Network. Phillies, who have lost 4 straight, began the night 3 games behind the Braves in the division. Eckstein is 2 for 4. And he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1.
That's the spot as a pitcher where you really think you could throw a fastball over, and he's not going to swing, and he didn't.
See his numbers against Lidge, 2 for 8 in his career. There's a slider hit towards shortstop. Should be an easy play for Castro. 1 away here in the ninth. And he worked ahead and was able to throw that slider for another strike. And he gets Eckstein, a very important out in a 1-run game. And here's Gonzalez. This guy is 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a sacrifice fly. That was back in the 5th. Lidge, the 4th pitcher used by Charlie tonight after Roy Halladay started. He went the first 7, allowed 10 hits.
Phillies have that no doubles defense in the outfield, and Ryan Howard guarding the line at first. See how deep the outfielders are and where Howard is.
On the outside corner at 93, 1-1. I think Gonzalez thought that was a strike.
No, and he's not going to swing at it either. Because he's thinking right now, at this point in the count, he's thinking pull. If he gets behind, he'll think the other way.
Gonzalez won the last game for the Padres with a grand slam against the Mets.
To left field.
Just shot it right over that wall and left.
All it was going to take was a fly ball there, and the ball went out of the ballpark.
Slider swung on and missed. That is a nasty pitch.
Well, that's a great pitch, Tom. 2-1, because you saw Gonzalez's swing. I mean, that was a fastball swing. And that's what he thought he was going to get after the fastball before that.
And now you come back with it again.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do a couple things now. You have everything in his mind. Except this guy is such a good hitter. You don't want to make a pitch in the middle of the plate.
2-2 the count to Gonzalez. Fastball swung on and missed. 2 away at 94.
Great location, too. 94 in a tremendous spot for a guy looking to pull. Even as good a hitter as Gonzalez, 2-2, he's probably thinking pull. And that's a good idea by Ruiz and Brad to go away with a fastball. And you see him open up quick. He was thinking about pulling there.
So Lidge has 2 outs on 7 pitches. Here's Chase Headley. And a slider swung on and missed. It's 0-1.
Well, Roy Halladay really had good success tonight with this guy who pitches down and in off the plate that he chased. Now, you don't want one down and in on the plate. That's the only way he can hurt you, I think. He's either going to swing and miss at it or pull it foul if you get it off the plate. Now, Roy did a great job with him tonight, working him that way and just staying there.
Lidge is 7th all-time on the Phillies list with 73 saves. The 1-1. Slider drops in for strike 2. Different locations.
Backdoor. Now you've got backdoor and down and in his mind. So once again, they got a couple places to go, and it's 1 and 2. You don't have to throw a strike here. He'll chase.
Swing and a miss. He got him on another slider. The 38th career save for Brad Lidge here at Citizens Bank Park, and it's his first since the 9th of May. And boy, was he dazzling the Padres tonight. Shane Victorino, 2 hits tonight, including a 2-run home run. He is our Chevrolet player of the game. He also scored 2 runs, including the game winner.
Boy, that looked like Brad Lidge 2 years ago.
Big time.
He was nasty tonight. And good location.
A 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning for Lidge. He struck out the last 2 batters, including Adrian Gonzalez on a fastball and Chase Headley on a slider. Well, our WB Nation delivery in the game wasn't even a hit, but it comes from Jason Worth.
Well, Philly's just trying to get out of this funk. They're in the bases loaded. Jason has a tremendous at bat here. Ball 2, bases are loaded, 2 outs. That was a ball, but it was called a strike. There's ball 3. Now he swings at this one. That was off the plate, and good job taking one real close for ball 4, and that turns out to be the winning run.
So Shane Victorino scores what his wheels said turned out to be the game winner for the Phillies. They win it by a final of 3-2. Roy Halladay is an 8-game winner. Brad Lidge, his 2nd save of the season. How about this slider to Chase Headley to finish him off and finish this ball game off? A nasty slider.
So we're saying you didn't have to throw a strike. That guy hasn't hit that pitch all night from neither Halladay nor Lidge, and they just kept throwing it to him.
And he still hasn't hit it. 2nd save of the year for Brad Lidge. He was feeling it, and he's down on the field right now with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Brad, welcome back. 2nd save. Slider was really breaking hard and down.
Yeah, I felt great tonight. I was thrilled to be able to get in a game right now in a save situation, and obviously save 1 for Roy, who continues to do a great job. And we got some timely hits, and the bullpen came through.
Now, once you've been hurt, when you come back, would you rather be in a spot that's close or get your feet on the ground there, maybe just to get acclimated?
I don't care. I just want to get out there and throw, to be honest. When you're hurt, you're just biting your nails trying to get back out there. So I told him I'll be ready for anything. But obviously I feel real good right now, and my control's a lot better, and hopefully we can start running with things now.
Last question. Speaking of control, how about your fastball outside corner there on Gonzalez?
Yeah, that felt real good. I had a lot of trouble, obviously, with control with everything last year, but obviously I feel good now, and I think control is the biggest key for me. I can control my fastball, move it in and out. It sets up my slider.
All right, Brad, thanks for coming on. Guys, right back to you.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. That was a good question about the pitch to Adrian Gonzalez, because he got him looking, and then he got the slide.